What's up, Kitty? What's up? What's up? What's happening? I'm trying to hold on. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. I don't know if you've seen any of my previous lives from out throughout the past couple of weeks, but I've been following this Diddy case, trial, whatever. And of course, I can't get the I'm trying to figure out how to get the transcripts up here for this sucks. This sucks. This sucks. Oh, hold on. I can go live with somebody, can't I? How do I add somebody to my chat? I might gotta cause I have the well, it's not the transcripts, but it's like live shit from Inner City Press. Shout out to Inner City Press. Cause they've been going crazy. But I'm trying to figure out how do I like attach my thing so we can split the screen and both be live. Here we go.
If you're watching this, Prize Picks is available in your state. But what the
My dog,
Prize Picks?
y'all.
It's the #1 app for sports
So y'all know
on their favorite players.
we are following the live, right? I mean the case. So what we're going to do is go to my girl, Miss Pam Esquire, because she is live. Come on now. So we just watched, thank you so much. You think I got beautiful eyes? Thank you so much. I get that a lot.
So let's pull this up because some of you guys have heard it already.
But
so
hold on.
Call in, then we can,
Hold on, y'all, because we live. The Diddy Trial. We don't have the actual transcripts, but
okay, this is the one from today. I don't want to do that right now. Says next witness, so this is from yesterday. So many of you may have heard this.
Come on, y'all. Let's get into it. Hold on, let me set my tripod up for y'all. Hold on, cause y'all catching behind the scenes shit. Okay, let's be clear.
So this is from yesterday. So many of you may have heard this.
Let's be clear. Did he do it? Did he do it? That is a great question, y'all. That's a good question. Hold on. Let me get y'all right. Because she's hilarious.
Are you here under subpoena?
Hold on, y'all.
Yes. And do you want to be here?
Let me get y'all right.
When he said that, I was like, here we go. But I'm telling you, after you get into his testimony, he almost seemed like he been waiting on this day to just spill out all the stuff that he knows and all of the shenanigans that he saw. What's your work, celebrity stylist?
Come on, y'all. Let's get into it. Do you think he did it, Thug Nasty?
Through a Craigslist ad for Bad Boy Entertainment, it still just baffles me that they were doing things on Craigslist. I know they didn't have it.
Come on now. What y'all think?
This photo, is this clear and accurate portrayal of how you looked that time?
All right, so right here we have this is Diddy's old one of their old stylists or whatever. I think he did all this nasty shit. Hold on, let me let y'all see me right quick. Fuck that. Cause I already seen this part. Hold on, let me take this shit off. Hold on, y'all. Let's get into it. Cause y'all know. Let's get into it. Hold on. Let me see what you talking about, Thug Nasty. Thug nasty. What you talking about, sister? I think he did all that nasty shit, but are they arresting him for being nasty, consenting adults? I don't know enough to speak much on the case, but it got my attention today. So listen, y'all, cause I've been following it. You, Thug Nasty. Hopefully you subscribe to my channel and go if you haven't seen any of my content. I've been following this case, right? Yes, DP Diddy, kitty. DP Diddy. So today, oh, let me pause my homegirl. So today we have the rest of Nash, which is a stylist, I think, that was Diddy's and Cassie's. Hello, Big Red. How you doing? Give me the quick rundown if you don't mind. I got you, Thug Nasty. So listen. So this is speaking like today. Today, I got you for today. And then just stay tuned in. We gotta lock in. We gotta watch this shit as it unfold. What's going on today unfold. So yesterday they started with Deontay Nash, which was a stylist for Diddy, and he became friends with Cassie. So he testified for the prosecutors. He got subpoenaed. And you know, he's giving a drop. We're gonna kind of jump into it right here on Pam's live, and she's giving it word for word via Inner City Press, because he's in there, he's in the courtroom tweeting. So we're just reading along what he posts on X, on Twitter, X, whatever, however y'all know it to be. But now they just called one of Diddy's formers personal assistants, and she's an alleged victim. Okay, so she just hit the stand. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to tap into Pam and see what is being written via Inner City Press on Twitter, because he's writing down the questions and the answers from the attorneys, whether it's Puffy's attorneys or the prosecutors, and the answers to the people that are on the stand. Big Red, thank you for tapping in. I hope you hit the subscribe button, and y'all go watch my content. I was so happy on here yesterday. I finally hit 500 subscribers. Now I need the watch time. I need the watch time so we got to keep this ball rolling. You feel me? We got to keep this shit going. I'm excited. I love being here with y'all. I'm going to try to open up my Twitch, but my mind be so crazy that it goes everywhere, and I gotta stay focused on one thing. So I'm just going to continue to work. All right, yeah, you could do that, but I'm telling you, hold on, Thug Nancy, stay here. Stay here, P Smith. Well, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I got a bunch of content on there. You can watch me all day and keep up with me. So listen, Thug Nasty, right now, we just stay tuned right now, because we're gonna watch what's going on right now in court, and then after this is done, then you can go back to my shit and watch, all the other shit that I posted. Bet. All right, cool. So listen, we gonna tap into the case. I think I got y'all up high enough to see the TV. All right, P Smith, I appreciate the compliment, sir, ma'am, sir, whatever you are. But Kitty, P Diddy, he deserves prison. But it's like the charges that we're gonna talk about this. Let's just watch, because we all have our own opinion. So let's just watch. Let's just see what's going on, because I have my opinion. I grew up on P Diddy. I love him so much, and this is like, it's disappointing. So let's tap into my baby Pam. She's gonna get a drop up. She's gonna get a drop up. Okay, I got y'all too
You know,
high.
I don't want to release your sex tape. You know, the fact that you even say that in front of people is baffling. Then they take a break. Like, what? How often would he say he was
Yes, Kitty, the charges are
quite a few? It drove her
a
crazy.
Rico.
She would be slippery.
Um,
She might stay in
hold
the
on, let me
house
turn
for
this down.
days.
He has a Rico. Speak on the charges
So
though.
people say he would beat her up and then she
What they
stay in the
even
house for
hitting
days.
with? From what I
How
seen,
often do
he
these
nasty,
people say
but
you cannot go
was
out
they
without his
consenting to the
permission
nasty shit?
to watch
Right,
this?
and
The
that's the
first
fight of
time
the
we went
case
to a gay
because
club
it's a
in
you
Kyle
got a
basement.
Rico,
Then we went to her
and then you
Alabama
have
residence. Called and told her she
hold
better
on,
bring her ass
cause I don't want to
She
speak out of
packed.
line. I want to make sure everything I'm
And what
saying is
did you
correct.
understand Mr. Combs was saying?
Hold on,
Objection.
give me a second, y'all. But
Overruled.
listen to
She
Pam.
packed her stuff and went to her house. Did you attend a Vanity Fair partner? Yes. Oscars after party in 2014 with Cassie. Puff was there. How did she look? She looked bomb. Her hair was objection. Overruled. Her hair was long. Puff picked me up and threatened me. I pinned her hair up. She recorded music often. And what was your role? I helped pick songs. Why is the stylist picking songs? It's just so many questions I have. So the stylist is from Craigslist is picking
Okay,
songs.
so 3 counts.
I don't know. I probably should have been called an exec. Objection sustained. Her
It's a
mixtape was
3 count
whatever.
indictment,
No, it was put out for free.
which is a
Should be as
Rico,
well, a top
and
download.
they are racketeering, conspiracy,
No,
sex
but they
trafficking,
met with the
and
prosecution.
transportation to
But
engage
you
in
know, and they
prostitution.
all he
Those
offered
are the
some money
charges.
involved. That's why you hear the other side say, "How many times did you meet with the government?" But also, you gotta
Charges
also understand
to me,
these
Crazy Kitty.
people aren't following these cases on YouTube or
Diddy
following
was
the cases on Twitter or whatever or Shade Room. Everybody's following the case. There's no way if you scroll, unless you just don't get on the internet, there is no way that you're gonna get on TikTok or anyway and not see
and
what's going on.
so here we go.
Like he's almost throwing
3 count
something in
indictment,
there to
racketeering,
try to
conspiracy, sex
confirm or
trafficking, and
corroborate what
transportation to
you know
engage
this
in
infested drug ring is
prostitution.
trying to claim too. So not to say
And
that
the
she didn't
indictment
experiment
unsealed
with the
today
video, but
alleges
he
that
said he
between
showed me what the
2008
information
and the
is.
present, Combs abused,
How many of
threatened,
her
and
music was
coerced women
released?
and
I'm being
others,
generous to say
and led a
that.
racketeering
Because you
conspiracy
know,
that
his
engaged in
argument
sex
is
trafficking,
that he
forced
watched her
labor,
career and
kidnapping,
he basically
arson,
stayed with her
bribery, and
or
obstruction of
co-workers because
justice,
he was the
among
one that
other
had her
crimes.
career.
Okay, so that's the layout of
He's the one that had
the charges.
her career basically at his whim. So we got to throw in about, she made a lot of music to try to counteract
Yeah, it's
testimony such as
Thug
Cassie
Nasty.
Clay.
It's a
She
bad
got
joint. I ain't gonna
Cassie Clay.
lie.
She
Like
was in the studio.
this
She got
shit
collabs
is.
with Kanye. She got collabs
Listen,
with
let me hop
this
in with
person
y'all.
and Nicki Minaj and
This
all
shit
that
is
to show like,
crazy.
yeah,
Like,
she put out
and
she
it's a
made
lot
music with
to
her,
it. You
she
feel
put
me?
out.
Like it's a lot
And if
to
you're
it.
a member, we talked
It's a
about a
lot
lot
to
of
it.
this
And
morning
he's in a
that
federal
you
court,
are
right? Yup, he's in a federal
in
court in New
membership.
York.
So, if you remember, make sure you go
No,
follow
this is
the
a
video that we
federal
talked
RICO
about
case.
otherwise this morning and talked about
Yes,
Ryan
federal
Leslie
RICO.
and Ryan Leslie
And
going
it's
over an interview
crazy.
that he had in
Like it's
his
crazy, man. I'm
rendition
telling
to
y'all,
how
this
he
shit
met
is
Cassie
crazy.
different from the people that are testifying. Because he alleges, I
And
know fast forward, he
basically,
met
the
Cassie like
RICO is from the
2011
time
when
that
he
he was
found
messing with
his
Cassie
music or whatever.
up until
Have to go
I
back
guess
to
like
the
maybe
membership
the time
agreement
she
and find
left,
the
or
agreement.
even present time.
Then
I'm
they take
guessing.
a break. hmm So then they said, we want to show Mr. Nash a photo of this afternoon
Yeah,
with the
I
lawyer.
highly
Dr.
doubt he
Brandon
working with the goddamn
was showing a
feds.
photograph, so he's gonna probably
That's why he got 10 lawyers. This man
so
got,
they bring
y'all, P.
back
Diddy
Mr.
got a
Nash.
team of 10 lawyers.
How many times
And
a
they
person
said I
have to
think it's
get admitted
costing
to
him like
court,
$1
you
million
guys?
a
Quite a
day
few.
to cash them
This
out.
is a
You
field
feel me?
exhibit
This
because
is a
I was
daily
asking my dad,
charge
did you
for him.
recognize this person?
Thank
It's
God
all
this
her
case
music.
ain't gonna
Yes.
be too long, but that's a lot of money, man. Like a lot of money.
What were you and Mia helping Cassie pack for? The OVO Fest in Canada. Who came to the door? Puff. He said, Biatch, I didn't tell you to answer. Didn't I tell you to answer the phone? Then he dragged her by her
Yes,
hair
Kitty,
and hit
10
her.
lawyers.
How hard was he hitting her? Objection. Very hard. We ran to
So
the
this is
bathroom,
Nash
but
on
Puff
the
pushed
stand.
it open.
Deontay
He
Nash was the
continued
old
to attack
stylist.
Cassie with his fist. What did you do to try to help Cassie? I jumped on Puff's back. He threw me off. Mia too.
Y'all want to see Pam? She's talking to me.
Cassie's head hit the bed frame. She was bleeding, but Puff
That's
continued
Pam.
hitting her.
She's funny. She's a
Where was
character on
Mia?
here.
Getting towels. What did Mr. Combs say to you, Mia and Cassie? He said, "Look what y'all made me do." He said she gotta go get plastic
Diddy has
surgery
that.
done.
Diddy is rich, man. Y'all gotta understand. Diddy been doing this for over 30 years. He's been in entertainment business for over 30 years.
After that, when did you see her? The next day, FaceTime or something like that. She had a gash in her eyebrow.
That's Thug Nancy. That's the same. That's what I think. I think this shit happened. Excuse my French. I think all this came about after he tried to
He said,
did the lawsuit for it's called Diageo.
Grabbing her by her hair, he pushed her out the door and began to do the same thing to me. But I don't have hair. He popped me. He told me to go downstairs and wait. Like,
nah, he is. This whole case is like, man, it's filled with tears, laughter, hurt, pain, anger, happiness, like. Cause we literally go combing through somebody's life, like, you feel what I'm saying? Like their private life too.
I didn't pay much attention to, but I wasn't like a Cassie fan, so I don't really, the different looks that they put on. She does. They have some semblance. Her and J Lo, depending on the light and all of that. My allergies, y'all. Sorry. Depending on the light and all of that, KT said finally someone actually intervened. Ego and drugs are a horrible mix. That is true. You said. All right, let's get on because we on old stuff. We got to get to the new stuff. But I had to say what the government is, what he listed it on the testimony. So he said he got popped. They came down and Puff was berating us. As we drove off, we got a phone call. Objection! The judge like, new question, move on. Call from who? Puff. He told us stop, and he came to the window. He said he put her sex tape on the internet. So you're going to hear a whole lot of that about the sex tape because what the government's trying to say is
J-Lo's dirt being exposed to.
Because she kept going back to him, and because there's information that she was acting like she wanted
they
to
got a
use
lot of
elbows and all
witnesses,
that,
so
they're trying
that's
to tie it
that's their
into,
evidence.
this ain't just domestic
They have a lot
violence,
of
this is
witnesses
coercion. He has
that's willing to
all
testify.
of her
Well, they subpoenaed him.
career in her hand. That's why we talk about that this morning. Because I'm not really buying the whole career thing. Because to me, she was like a fluke that happened. But that's just my opinion.
I'm here, y'all.
Just saying. When you look at how she got to where she got, it was
because I want to get on the camera with y'all. Hold on.
People that was out here, but she just had to look. But that's what.
But the way my situation is set up right now is crazy. So,
but then eventually you gonna have.
But y'all can hear me, so it's cool.
Especially if she couldn't like perform.
And every now and again, when she's talking like this, I turn around. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all, this case is so crazy. And I literally been locked in because it's just so much going on. It's so much unfolding. Like, you learning a lot about a lot of people because they name dropping left and right. It's crazy. They are name dropping out of this world. But anyway, hold on. Let's get back. Let's get back to Pam.
Part of why she stayed with him is because he had these sex tapes. And so, and perhaps if she left, he would be through with her and wouldn't even put out her music. So almost like you're forced to stay so you can have this music career. So those are kind of all of the ducks in the row the government is trying to put together, and they hope that the jury buys what they're selling. However, of course, the defense is saying this was just a toxic relationship and they both had problems and they was drug addicts and some mental health issues in there, and that's what it was. It didn't have anything to do with it. So you have people like Capricorn who comes on and say she ain't no Whitney. Capricorn probably, based on the testimony, I'm assuming there were conversations where she basically was saying, "Why you spending so much time on this person?"
And
She
y'all,
felt that
Capricorn Clark was
basically Cassie had
another
a career,
personal
but that
assistant
was
that
his
Diddy
career.
had, and they had a whole.
I think that's
She was
pretty
kind
much
of
how
jealous of
Capricorn's testimony was.
Cassie a
So
little bit. It
when
was
you hear
they
all
had a
this
weird
about the sex
dynamic.
tapes today, it would be considered revenge porn, right? So a lot of stuff that he was doing was what abusers do. We've seen it to the point where they've had to draft statutes and enact statutes for when people try to use that for blackmail purposes because you broke up or you got a new man or you got a new woman. I'm going to put out your tape to the point where there's an actual statute for it. It's not considered, I don't think, coercion under that statute. It's just you've done revenge porn. So that's kind of what he was doing. It sounds like, according to him, before they had revenge porn. But anyway, so he's saying putting out the X tape. Puff said he'd send her sex tape to her parents' job and get them fired. That her brother was a biatch and that only he protected her. And what did you tell her? So it sounded like her brother was, because everybody asked, like, who was the men in your life? She had one brother. And I said it like I remember the brother being with her when she was promoting like Love a Loser and I think The Perfect Mattress. Like her brother was there in the studios a few times with her interviews if you go on YouTube and see some of the videos. So I know he was around. So that's why I was just like, how did they not know? But it does sound like the mom knew about the abuse since about 2011 ish. So anyway, but she's grown. Like, what the mama gonna do? She can say, I want you to leave him, but it got to be up to her. What did she say about wanting or not wanting to have sex with other men? Objection overruled that she didn't want to. So, of course, that goes to the fact of coercion, is what they're trying to use that for. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying what the government is trying to put out and hope that the jury's picking it up. That she told her friend that she did not want to have sex with these other men. However, did you tell Puff that you didn't want to have sex with these other? Because basically, there has to be a mens rea or a knowledge or intent in some of these crimes. So it's like, did you tell him? Like you telling other people, in my opinion, don't really matter if you're relaying to him that you want to. She could have been telling her friends she don't want to because she don't want to look like a hoe, and that's what and that's kind of like the lifestyle she living. There's a lot of people don't tell. I've had friends that have been doing some things and they didn't tell me till we was adults. Like I thought you was gonna judge me because you seemed like a little straight jacket. I've had a couple of really close friends tell me some things about the lives they was living back when we was in our late teens and early 20s. And they would deny when certain things came to me and I asked them about it. They would deny it because they felt like I'll be looking at them some type of way. So we don't even know if this is just something she telling him anyway, but that would be why it's basically it is hearsay. But he needs to have the mens rea that she didn't want to do it. And I don't know if they was really able to pull that off when it came to her testimony. So anyway, why? Uber wasn't really okay. So then he says, I drove her to Sunset Boulevard to get a taxi. Why? Uber wasn't really a thing yet. So I guess after he wanted her for that situation, I guess maybe they was gonna do an FO. He drove her to Sunset Boulevard so she can get a taxi. Yeah, because Diddy is not a mind reader. Hey Jay. Yeah, she had a family in her life. She really did. Danielle said the revenge porn aspect makes it, but that's not how the government is trying to do it. See, we've learned about revenge porn because, hey, a lot of people have been accused of it, like on the internet. So that's kind of how we learned about it. But yeah, That's what it sounds like.
And y'all, I tap into Pam because she's not a biased person when it comes to this case, which is a good thing because you don't want somebody.
Same thing and try to threaten you to put stuff out. That's why I said the line
Because
between
this trial is ongoing. We don't know who's guilty and we don't know who's innocent. So with that, you don't want to be biased. So she's just giving it from every aspect. You know, she's giving it up. She's giving opinions from every aspect. And that's all you really can do with the ongoing case. You know what I'm saying? Personally, some people might not like Diddy. You feel what I'm saying? Because he was kind of, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't the greatest spirited person. But she's still not being biased when she's going through this case.
I mean, that should have been the first thing you said. He would beat me. So they had to do things like, you told him you had a UTI, right? You told him you just got over a UTI. Did he say, let's not do it? Did you really want to do it and you know you had a UTI? No. But you didn't tell him that. That's like what part of the problem is. She wasn't really telling him that. She was actually sending him texts of, I'm always down for a freak off. So why would he not think that that's not what you want to do? That's one of the issues in this case. So now you got to use, oh, she told other people, I guess, that she didn't want to do it. So she said the elevator beating was because she left the freak off. She got mad in between. She had done the freak off, right? She got mad in between and she left because she was saying, I guess she had was it a premiere? She had someplace she wanted to be and she wanted to be rested. So they got into an argument, but they had already done the freak off. There was never any information that was provided from the transcript that I saw that said that she was saying he beat her because he told her, you about to continue to screw in this freak off. No, he beat her because he's an abuser. And she was leaving him and walking away. He told her, you ain't going nowhere. And then I guess security said, listen, you gonna come, you can leave if you want to, and she chose to leave. So that's not true. That's why I'm saying, like, we need, if he's gonna go down, he needs to go down on what really happened and what the testimony, which is evidence, says. Not how we're interpreting it, not how it was half the information, because that's not true. Danielle, I thought the elevator, I don't know. I don't know. I've heard a phone, I've heard drug, I've heard so many different things. I don't think she testified to that. I think she just said she wanted to leave. I think they got into an argument after the fact. After the freak off, she wanted to leave and she had a premiere or something she wanted to go to, she was supposed to be at, and she wanted to get some rest. So I don't know if she ever testified, like, or if anybody. The only person that can say she had his phone is if Puffy testified. Because who else gonna say that? Unless Puffy, they did an incident report, and at that time he told them, "Hey, she took my phone, and that's a problem." So I don't know. Peachy Bama said he probably tried to keep it going, so she wanted to leave. That's speculative like everybody else. But I'm saying I don't remember hearing any testimony that he beat her and was like, you better do this freak off right now, like pimps do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't remember. And then typically when you have a prostitution relationship, let's think about this. When you have a pimp and a prostitute, and I don't know the financial aspects of it that you have to prove, but typically it's not you giving money, you get money. There's usually a for-profit situation where you get money, which brings in the commerce portion of it. But hey, I'm just saying, this was the opposite when it came to it. It wasn't, they were paying somebody to join in with them. He wanted the phone. He found out about, that was a Wayne. There's so many incidents to keep up with. So the Cuddy incident was something totally different too. That was a different. They was at a whole. They had. She started messing with Cuddy. She had a phone. She don't know if he found it. I think I think Cassie testified, and I just read it the other day again, that she was with Diddy. She said they had a freak off. I think at this point she's going. When she testified, I think she made it like almost every incident they were
What's
together
up,
was a freak off.
QBL?
That's kind of what I recall. We just got done with a freak off. Like she's gonna say that about everything. I don't think she really said anything about it just being them.
You haven't really
Except when
missed
it was
too
an
much
alleged RAPE. That was supposed to be the only time, I think. One of the
of the
few
Mia
times that it was just them two. But so she said
testimony.
they had just got done with a freak off.
We still
He
going
took her
over
phone, and then that's when he
Nash's
scrolled through, and it was her regular phone, and saw the message between her and
testimony.
Capricorn.
We're waiting for Mia
Which is why
to jump
Capricorn
on.
testified. She told her, "This is like Bad Boy's phone. Why the hell you talking to Kid Cudi on your phone? Go get a burner." Like, is you dumb or is you stupid kind of thing. We gonna go to Best Buy and get you a burner so you don't get caught. And Capricorn said, "Nah, I'm caught into this of you doing whatever because you texted me and told me about it. Now I know about it. So you gonna get us both jacked up." So that's supposed to be why they went and got the phone. I think he is gonna take the stand. I don't know. If he takes the stand, that's when y'all see me talking about live from New York.
Nah, seriously.
I go.
He was definitely a character.
For something like that. Now that I would do.
He is definitely a character, man.
I would want to hear everything.
He's giving very sass. He's giving sass.
I want to know everything that happened. Good afternoon, Trump. And Max said, "Prince and prostitutes' relationships are different. Now they are Moreso security and assistance for prostitutes. It's still the same purpose. It's the oldest profession. It's the same purpose of they send you out. They make sure, the point is to make money. In this case, there's no making money at all. It's all about you. It's all about his sexual pleasure. So maybe they're adding value to that. I don't know. Why won't she just say she didn't want to do FOs, not in text, because she caught in the moment, but now I understand why not. She said that she wanted to do it at first and then she didn't want to do it, but she didn't really relay that to him because she didn't want him to do it with anybody else. That's what she said. She didn't tell him because she didn't want him to do it with anybody else. So basically, almost the government was sending texts that you should be able to infer that somebody with sores in their mouth is not going to want to be nasty with somebody. Somebody with UTIs to the point where they're consistently on medication for it, they don't want to be doing it. Somebody who gets peed on, I ain't say no, but you should know nobody wants pee in your mouth. Like, that's kind of what the argument is. That's why I said the argument is almost like Diddy, who clearly had his own emotional and psychological issues, because you gotta have to treat any human being like he seems like it's being alleged he treated them. Something gotta be wrong with you. Like, that is not. I don't think you're like born that way unless you got some type of switching up that happened in the brain. And I'm not a psychologist. I'm just saying, generally speaking, you just to be like what some of these people are saying he is. And again, these are their allegations. I'm not saying yay or nay. But the reason why I would lean towards that he was a butthole. First of all, we seen the video, so we know he was beating her. The next thing is we watch how he was on these reality shows and how he treated people on these reality shows. So I'll be leaning towards the side of you probably did, treated people like trash and they were human beings. And that was you showing that people will do whatever just to be in your presence. And part of that on his side, I think, is he knows people will use you too. But that just knowing, like, find a way to quid pro quo and you get something out of it too. Like, what are you to treat people like that? I don't think there's any explanation to treat people like trash. I'm just sorry. I mean, like a human being, you treat them like that. You like, I can't,
How many witnesses had to be interviewed? Do you know exactly?
You said if he takes the oh, I'm there.
I think so far
my whole schedule will be
prosecutors
they said like the government is supposed to be done in a couple of
1,
weeks.
2,
So
3,
it'll be next.
4, 5.
Yes.
I think so far we've seen 10 people on the stand that they've interviewed, and that's just prosecutor side.
For her. He looked in my oven. I'm not sure why. Yeah, because that's weird. Like, why would she even fit in the oven? Like,
yeah, Kitty, I think it's been about 10 people.
Puff took my phone, and Cassie called from a hotel. Puff said, let's go there. Bad boy staff stayed there. What did Mr. Combs say? He said, go get her. I went to Cassie's hotel room with D-Rock and Tony. She jumped up. She was frightened. She said she would jump off the balcony. How high was it? It wasn't the first floor. Downstairs, I saw 4 or 5 of Puff security waiting. Puff told me, you played me. I drove off, but Puff security followed me. I turned off my lights and drove really, really fast. I went to the Universal Sheraton. Did you go home the next day? Yes. I found my backpack was stolen. It had $1,000 in it. Why did you keep $1,000 in cash? So when Puff was mad, I could check into a hotel without giving my name. What happened in 2015? I saw Puff slap Cassie in the face. He said, get this biatch out of here. What did you do? Got her out. Then the government asked about that movie, The Perfect Match premiere. What did you see?
The guy
that's had a black eye.
Testifying here was a former Diddy
I was outside smoking a cigarette.
stylist.
Puff came and threw me on the car and started choking me out.
His name is Deontay
that
Nash.
Type of stuff, just like there's no explanation. Puff said, y'all keep going out. So he choking you. See, that's what I'm saying. He's violent, but he's not doing this like, you better commit these crimes for bad boy record. He's doing things because it's like everything is relates to Cassie. This is my girl, and y'all, you going with her. Basically, he's concerned. The thing about abusers is they worry about losing control. Their superpower is the ability to control you, lower your self-esteem, make you feel weak, make you feel isolated, make it feel like you don't have anybody. The problem is with Cassie, or maybe the good part too, is that she was a figure herself, a public figure, and so she had to go to premieres, she had to go out, so she had stylists, she had makeup artists, she had other people, assistants, people around her, and then she still had her family involved with her. So there was a people knew what was going on. Usually when you're isolated, people don't even know nothing that is happening, and that's the typical DV. So I'm going to be very interested to see like what their expert has to say when it comes to just kind of how their situation was. Did you report anything to the police? No, I was afraid of retaliation from Puff. Did you get anyone on staff? Christina Coram, KK, and what did she say? That she would talk to him. So KK would be like, oh, he slammed you and choked you about going on with Cassie. I'm going to talk to him. Don't worry about it. Man, the way I would not have been stopped, because he sound like, I guess he said he need his coins too. He ain't ready to leave yet. Did anything change? No. How often did you help Cassie hide? Often. What did Mr. Combs do? He would blow up our phones. KK would too. She would say Puff was calm. Cassie would go back. Did Cassie tell you she was going to a hotel with Mr. Combs? Yes, weekly. She would pack sex toys. Did she say she wanted to go? Objection, overruled. She said she didn't want to go. So you see what I'm saying? Like, you're telling him you don't really want to be involved in this stuff once a week. Everybody know about the once a week because she testified to it. That's why I said some of this stuff I really believe they heard on the internet too. Because you can't turn away from it. So now you're saying once a week, she was there, she would pack. You seen what she was packing.
Crazy Kitty, it's been about 15 people that took the stand for the prosecutors.
She's not doing it on her own on volition.
So they have
her 29th birthday
interviewed them already.
Puff asked me, should he surprise her on her birthday?
Who's to come, I'm not sure.
Girl,
but so far it's been about 15 of them.
Surprise her. Did she use the word freak off with you? No, like freak off, more like freak off. Like a verb? Yes. So not like a noun naming it, but like getting freaky type thing or whatever is how she kind of described the actual act. Where did you go after the blind dragon? 875 Comstock, like 17A. Puff said y'all gonna get some dick tonight. Who was y'all, Puff? Who was he talking to?
All right, Kitty, see you in a little.
Y'all. What did Miss Ventura say? That she didn't want to go, but he made her. They left the house. She was super high. New Year's Eve 2017, where were you?
Vegas. I'll be here, Kitty.
All on the same floor at the hotel. Puff's room was at the end of the hall. What did Mr. Combs tell you? That Cassie had been asleep for 24 hours. I had to wake her up. Did she wake up? She woke up for me. I mean, for me, like I'm the bestie. What do you mean? What did Mr. Combs say? That he spent all this money, so she had to. Then there was a low budget producer. So they like, I guess they was laughing in there. I don't know. How many of your meetings with prosecutors did you end early? Probably all of them. So he's had several meetings, it sounds like, with the prosecutor. Did you stay in touch with Mr. Combs? Yes. What was your tone? Loving. Why? I don't hate him. It's not in me. No further questions. So basically, he's had conversations with him even after all of that, I guess, like the rest of them. But they probably got information or text messages where he seemed like he okay with Diddy. And now you're like, I don't hate him. He was just beating up my good girlfriend, but I don't hate him though. Not you praying that was a typo. I'm staying away from that lane. I'm just gonna stick to. Why do y'all keep saying that? This woman was 19 when Puff got into her head, and I believe that she is so messed up she doesn't know what she did and why she did it, and I feel like she still thinks she loves him. He did a number on her. She was not 19 when she got with him. She was with Ryan Leslie. She didn't even know Puff. She didn't meet Puff until Ryan Leslie tried to do the deal with Puff and wanted to push out an album for her with that Me and You. It's a whole story. Go to my membership if you ain't a member, and we can talk about it. But he didn't try to like do anything, I guess, kiss on her, any moves with her until she was like 21. And then the freak offs happened at 22. So she had a little bit of a life, just a little bit. I ain't saying a whole life before she met Puff. Yeah. Gina is Love's mother. No, I thought Love's mother was somebody else. That's not Gina, is it?
It's Dana.
Ryan was 8 years older as well. Ryan Leslie was 8 years older than her. But that's who actually started her career. And it was on a fluke. Like, go to my membership. It was on a fluke. I'm just saying. Danielle said on her 21st birthday, he tried to kiss her. That was the first romantic interaction. Yes. Sexy RN said most 21 years old are not wise, don't think critically, and easily influenced. We gonna say some because that was not my testimony. I was out and had my own place at 18 and had a full-time job with benefits. So I'm not saying you all through your 20s you're learning and exploring. That's why I tell people, like, I don't discourage marriage, but a lot of times you don't know what you even want. I think your 20s is your exploration time. and you know what you can tolerate, what you can't, what you can compromise on, and what you can, and what you're looking for. I think when you just fall in love with somebody at 2021, a lot of that is emotional, and emotions fade and they change. So love is a choice. It don't always feel like that's what you want to do. Okay? And so you learn that more in your 30s and your priorities change. That's why you have people in their 40s and their 50s that's like, I'm marrying for security. I'm married for my retirement. I learned to love them. You look at other countries, they do arranged marriages. They get the person they think is best for their child. I was just talking to this lady from India, and she was like, I'm just there, for my little annual physical. And she was just pouring her guts out to me. She was like, yeah, I can't wait till, I forgot what she couldn't wait for, but she was like, because I just want to go back to my country. I'm like, what? She was like, yeah, I just can't believe my parents did me like this. I've been married for 7 years, but I miss my country. I miss my family. She almost broke down crying. I guess her husband was a doctor, and she had one kid by him, so she been her. But she was like, I don't, you know, I just hate it here. I don't know why my parents would do me like this. So a lot of times they get married and they don't even be liking each. They don't even know each other. You pay that little dowry and you a piece of property. And unfortunately, men here in the United States, they'll treat you like a piece of property too. So you
You're
kind of
welcome.
got to
I'm
get
gonna
your
make
own
I'm gonna
man to
make
know what's
Crazy
acceptable, what's
Kitty
not
one too
acceptable, what you like, what you don't like, what you can
when
live
she
with,
comes back.
and what you want
I
your
think I'm gonna
future to
make her
look
a
like. I
moderator.
do believe in your 20s, you're just learning all of that. But I think that's because it's a process. It's just a process and how life is. I'm not the same that I was 20, 30 years ago. Jen 313 said my manager's marriage was arranged and she is young in her 30s. Yeah. They do it in their 20s too. I had a friend that went through that, and I think they better now, but baby, at first I was like, and we couldn't believe it. We were like, because that's not, it's a different culture. So when he said it and was like, I'm engaged and she's moving here, we were like, my friend was kind of rude. She asked him, she was like, you don't even know if she stinks. Like, you don't even know her hygiene. What do you mean she's just moving here? You guys are getting married. Like, what? But it worked out. I think they still yet holding on. They still married. Reddy Red said at age 20 we bought our first house. Yeah. Karen Sykes said then domestic issues being talked too crazy isn't a real reason to leave. Yep, some people, that's why
Yes,
I
she
couldn't be
is. That's
divorced. Like
why
when I was
this is
trying
why I
to,
watch her, y'all. I'm
figure out
telling y'all,
as a lawyer,
she's
I
one of the
figured out what I
best.
wanted to do. So I've been in a lot of different areas. And one of them was family law. And that's one of the things that I didn't shoot, I wasn't gonna make no money. Because unless they was telling me they was getting beat, they was getting cheated on. Like it was just certain big things, and you know what I'm saying. And this is the cheating kind of had a little, caveats to it. But there was just certain things that I was like, girl, do you know this dating pool? This is a whole different generation. You talking about your husband pay every bill? He's going to work every day, and you just feel like you ain't spending enough time, and you just. I'm like, y'all might want to do some counseling. So I sent so many people to counseling that stayed together, or like people that were pregnant. I'm like, girl, wait till you had a baby and then let me know how you feel. Because right now you don't like nobody. I've been pregnant 4 times. Okay, you don't like nobody during them times. All right. So why don't you just wait for that? So yeah, you said that's a good man. Alicia said it is for me. If there is no respect, it's time to go. She said, you ain't talking to me any kind of way. There's some for always forever. You said my first divorce was at 26. Girl, how many times you been married? We all in your business now. Don't be in her business. Girl, sit down. She told my daughter, like, don't be in her business. Oh, wow. I didn't know that power dynamic for life. She said in Georgia you can't get divorced when you are pregnant.
I didn't
Now
know
you
that
do
either.
have to ask, like in our complaints, we have to allege whether you are pregnant or not. But I've never had anybody that was pregnant, so I don't know if there's a consequence. Now maybe because the way it is here, if you have children, you have to at least wait 6 months before you can get a divorce, unless the judge waives that waiting period, because they do support and promote family. And so, like, if you don't have any kids, they'll let you get divorced in 2-3 months. They like, what? You don't okay. But when you have kids, they want you. Some counties they send you to parenting classes and all of that. All in my business, Jennifer. All in. All right. Oh, you said two. Okay. All right. All right, for always forever, child. You sounded like you was like, shoot, I could be the I got some stories to tell. All right, come on. Let's get into it. We ain't gonna never get to what we trying to do. So then there was a break, and then it was something about the flight and trying to be done by 4 and all of that and whatever. So then here come how are you? He was like blessed. You know that's the response of I don't like you, kiss my behind. Like that's the, they be like, have a blessed day. That's like the polite churchy way to tell you to kick rocks and go to hell. Like that's really what it is. How are you? Blessed. When he met with the government, you had an attorney present, yes. The subpoena didn't mean you had to go to their office, right? And then I'm assuming he said no. You hired a civil lawyer, Mr. Dunn, to represent you, considering litigation against Mr. Combs? No. Does this document show that? It's their assumption, but no. I have counsel to protect me. I don't do federal court. He said, I don't do the courts. Have a seat, please. Said, I don't do the courts. On March 10th, 2025, did you not tell Ms. Comey that you are considering a civil complaint against Mr. Combs? No. What is this? Cassie in the video for the mixtape. In 1801, Cassie and Usher. This is the 2016 Bad Boy reunion show. Did you pick out that dress? I don't remember. I was actually gonna go to that 2016 like reunion tour that they were doing when they came here, and yeah, like I was offered to go, man, ride back, go backstage and all that. And I was like, yeah, no, I declined. But it wasn't for any of these reasons. I didn't know all this was allegedly going on. Did you pick out that dress? I don't remember. In my Woody voice. You didn't start as a celebrity stylist. It was that what Mr. Combs introduced you to Cassie, right? I met her, Mrs. Fine. So he wanna like put out there she's married now. She's married now. So basically she's married and he's like almost Mrs. Fine. Okay. Just call her name is Mrs. Fine. So it's Mr. Combs who made you a celebrity stylist. Sure, go ahead. If that's what you want. So like how was he putting he seen an ad in Craigslist that was like, I ain't got no experience, but I would love to be your celebrity stylist, but I don't have no experience. He said, I'm going ahead. He was like, go ahead. He said, I'm going ahead. As a celebrity stylist, you pick clothes, like for Mrs. Fine's wedding. Yes. Do you know Groovy Lou? Yes. As head of Bad Boys, it was in Mr. Combs' interest that his artist Cassie looked good, right? I suppose. And Bad Boys paid for Cassie's studio time, right? Yes. Miss Ventura can't go to the studio under Mr. Combs' pay unless Mr. Combs pays. What is Young and Reckless? A streetwear clothing brand. Cassie owned a part of it. Mr. Combs had nothing to do with it. He had to approve everything. Wasn't Vanna, I guess that's Brianna Bongolan, involved as a stylist? Who else were you styling in 2016? Cassie, Puff, Mace, Lil' Kim, major artists. And in the mixtape, you were executive producer but got no credit. Meek Mill was in the mixtape? Yes. Pusha T? Yes. Can I take a break? He done pissed him off. Can I take a break? Okay, like now you bringing up old memories about stop damn. Now you bringing up old memories about how I ain't get paid and I was doing the work. So then it was a no way I'll be finished by 4. Did you know that before? I told the jury that we'll be done by 4. Mr. John's like, I ain't know he was gonna be on here acting like this. Well, we'll go to 4, and then the government had to rebook his flight because he lived in California. So then they're back, and then Combs, I guess his attorney was like, nice coat. He's like, thank you. What size? Not your size. Right answer. Mr. Combs was the final decision making. No, some of them look terrible. What? You are friends with Miss Fine? Yes. When's the last time you spoke with Banner? Yesterday. Not about testimony, right? Right. She saw it on the news. When did you speak with Cassie? Yesterday. I congratulated her on having the baby. So they still all in communication here. You saw her take drugs? Cocaine, ecstasy, MDMA. What about mushrooms and acid? I'm not like privy to that. Not to get in your business. You've used cocaine. Yes. You smoked pot before meeting with the prosecutors. Yes. And Maureen cut it short. You told her you were high. That I was smoking. Making a video costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not necessarily. Who was Mia? Puff's assistant. You and Mia jumped on Mr. Combs to protect Cassie from him, right? And to protect him from doing something worse. And D-Rock tried to protect you and not protect Mr. Combs. Yes. So this was the end of yesterday's. Okay, let's fill up today. You said, Joanne said the diddler sounds like he would look for people with some or little experience so that he can pay a lower salary. That could be a possibility. You said I need somebody to AI this testimony. Nah, it won't be me, child. The way they've been suing people about AI, I'm going to stay a Craigslist stylist and executive. Like, you guys are bad boys, right? Like, one of you guys were the creme of the creme during that time. Why you got to be on Craigslist to find stylists and get people to executive produce mixtapes and stuff? I don't know. I'm on live, Mr. Byron. Yeah, we're here too, Mike.
So y'all check this out. This is about to be a continuation of Mr. Deontay Nash's testimony in court. That was from yesterday, so now it's going to go into today's. It's going to resume the remainder of today's testimony. Yeah, so that's what's going on here right now. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What's going on, man? I'm trying to make it outside, but this goddamn testimony, y'all. It's the goddamn testimony. I ain't gonna lie. I'm trying to make it outside though, y'all. What are y'all doing? What's going on? Where's everybody at? Where's everybody at? Is y'all tuned into this Diddy trial, man? What is y'all doing? Where is y'all at? Is y'all here to watch the Diddy trial? I don't know if Thug Nasty is still here tapping in. She said she was at work listening. But we here. We listening to this goddamn case. Because this case, the guy that's testifying now is the big. I ain't gonna lie. He's funny as hell.
Today's, and so we're gonna do
So let's get let's get back into this guy because he's fucking hilarious. Okay, y'all. How y'all doing out there? Y'all, what? The cat got y'all tongue? What's going on? Cat got people's tongue. It's all good. It's all good.
So bring Mr. Nash back and then our jury. So then they rebooked the witness flight for 2:00. So they like, so get done by this morning because we rebooked it. We're hoping he'll be off the stand in time to make the flight. So they did it by 2:00 to be like, you're not about to just be going in with this witness. We gonna give you a time limit. Oh, he's very spicy. That is very. He is not playing on that. Okay. So then again, Mr. Donovan said, how are you? He said, I'm blessed and highly favored. So then they got texts. These are texts from you. Okay, so what was Capricorn Clark's role in 2011? The mixtape. Oh, she was gone. What did she work on when she was there? Maybe the photo shoot you guys showed yesterday. I learned a lot from Capricorn, actually. Do you recall a picture of Cassie in green hair? That was a group idea. I walked the carpet with Cassie in New York at the VMAs. It was a curated look. You had to get approval? Yes, from Puff. You say Mr. Combs was kicking Cassie on the ground. The unfortunate eye gash incident, correct? Yes. You didn't tell the prosecutor she was kicked while bleeding. They didn't ask. I only answered what they asked. So basically, in whatever statements he was giving, he probably ain't say nothing about being kicked while bleeding, but of course on the stand. To me, kicking whether you bleed or not bleeding is just bad. So I'm not sure where they getting at with that. But you know Cassie was in a relationship with Kid Cudi while she was in a relationship with Mr. Combs. Oh, okay. You didn't know? I thought she and Puff was broken up. Cassie was in South Africa. You were at the Revolt conference in Miami, correct? Yes, I was there to style Lil' Kim. So yes, I put her together with Michael B. Jordan. I mean, he fine. She fine. Why not? Hold on. The judge was like, you doing too much, bro. Hold on. We were not making a mockery out of this courtroom. You gonna answer these questions? So he ain't say all that. But the judge was like, hold on a second. You doing the most right now. He fine, we fine, she fine. I mean, so Gina was in Miami too. No. You don't put that on me. They kept me away from seeing Gina. So that's the good, that's her good friend, right? So of course he don't want to make it seem like he was in Miami because he was there at the same time Puff was there with Gina, I guess. So he's saying like, oh, Puff, now this the same person that's choking you out. This the same person that's going to the room that you gotta jump on his back. But you think Puff really cares that you see him with somebody else? So I guess Puff knew y'all was so cool. That's what you giving. That he would never flaunt his little side pieces and horns around you. That's what you're trying to say. Oh, okay, Mr. Nash. All right. Oh, okay, buddy. Oh, no. Absolutely not. Don't put that on me. Like, what? So he would do all of this to you, steal your $1,000, chase you down. But I mean, Puff drew the line with letting you see him with another girl. If you don't sit your boy, cut it out. Yeah, he's the only one so far that say he jumped on Puff. He jumped on his back, and I keep seeing it in my mind that he jumped on his back and Puff tried was swinging around and he flew off or something. But that's like me in my mind. That's kind of like what I say in my mind. Like we see it on TV a lot where it's like they jump on your back. What made him jump on his back is just crazy. Y'all ain't got no lamps in there, no ashtrays, no complimentary wine bottles, nothing that y'all could have bust them in his head with. Like, where are y'all from? If you answer something in Craigslist, I'm assuming you from New York. Like, where you people, like, the way I would have got this ever fresh bottle and he would have remembered me. Fuck, you would have remembered me. That's all I'm saying. I ain't gonna say I won because I'm a woman still at the end of the day. And you's a man. But the way I'd have found the hardest thing next to me, I don't care what it was. I probably would have took my phone and you jumping on the back so he can do the whole helicopter and have you go around like you do with your kids when they little. You don't cut it out. Ashtray, you gotta do something. Y'all quit acting like it's just me. You said the lamps were slick with baby oil. You might be right. Might have been a little slippery in there. You might be right. Man, baby, I promise you. She got a gash on her head. He would have a gash somewhere. He would have some resemblance of me to carry him for the rest of his life. That everybody ain't playing them games with you. All right, we're not playing them games with you. I can't beat you up with my fist. I don't be perfect. My fist ain't big enough. Can't beat you, but baby, that lamp, that PlayStation, they probably had a little Nintendo back then. Whatever it was, they might have had a not a VHS, but maybe like the Blu-rays or something back. Something in that room was portable enough to pick up and bust some upside his head. That should have been the go-to move. It should not have been I'm jumping on your back and we spinning around and stuff. Like, we're not doing that. Sorry, y'all. I just got rest. So Cassie got upset. She said, why did you keep humiliating me in my career? So this was a line that we talked about in my membership, and I was like, humiliating you as being with
Am I loud, y'all?
totally see that. Like, why she would be upset because everybody knew they were together. So now it's going to be, are y'all still together? Are y'all broke up? But then if y'all were broke up at that time, it shouldn't even bother because y'all broke up anyway. So for her to say humiliating me, I can get that as a girlfriend. But then humiliating my career, who he walks on a red carpet with has nothing to do with your career. So this is why I'm saying it feels like he's throwing things in there so that we could come up with an explanation as to basically come up with some explanation to throw in a career that he was just controlling her career. Because I'm not understanding why him being with Gina got anything to do with her career. Why that would even been a part of his testimony. But hey, she was upset, not really. So she wasn't even mad he was with her. But you worried about you saying you were humiliated, you wasn't happy. Okay, so he said she wasn't really mad. You set her up with Michael B. Jordan. Yes. And Mia drove it home, making sure she had his number. He feel like that. Listen, that's a story he been wanting to tell for so long. I'm the one that set her up with Michael B. Jordan. Hmm. LB said there was a room. Good. Just saying. You gotta let them know you there so they can think twice. Okay. You saying like he like walk to the right, stand in the corner, stand on one foot, sit down. You letting him know that you'll do anything for him. Same thing is like that's what I felt like, and I told my members on the whole cheesecake situation why it bothered me. Really wasn't you going to get the cheesecake or getting cheesecake for him. It's the point of you let him know on that day that you're willing to do anything, like to prove yourself. That's how y'all made it like it was proving you, but it wasn't because this dude literally could have took a cab, or he had drivers that could have went there and got the cheesecake. The point was to show the whole world that people are willing to do anything just for this spot. So what do people that are not in the music industry think? That want to get in? Dang, I'm gonna have to do whatever, like they did on the TV in order to get what I want, which is a music career. So it almost gives that subliminal where this dysfunction and this control is normal because that's what you know. Oh, well, I guess they had to do it in order to get to the top. I got to do it. No, some of this toxicity has to be broken by somebody.
That would have been a whole different storyline if I would. I wish I would have tried out for making a band just off GP, because y'all would have been like, I remember Pam for making a band. She the one that called the taxi to come take her to the plane when they said go get cheesecake. Absolutely not.
Nah, for real.
Diddy wanted to attract people who are willing to do anything to get ahead. He wanted desperate people because they, yep. He ain't the only one though. In this music industry, a lot of people, it's so many talented people that we know that didn't even make it. And they're not, because they didn't have the look or whatever. Like Kelly Price ended up being a fluke just because she was doing behind the scenes stuff and she can blow. I'm not saying a fluke like Kelly Price can sing. But like she was doing behind the they wouldn't even show her body. They had her voice. And that was it. And then eventually they actually did somebody let her do the video. And she had her little tracksuit on and she was, so that wasn't what they did. It was kind of like the crossover. Now they didn't mind big people if they were men. Because we had Biggie, we had Big Pun, we had all the Heavy D. His name was Heavy. His name was Heavy D. But when it came to women, you had to fit a bill or they would have you behind the scenes and steal your voice and use your voice. Give you your credit behind the scenes, but they wouldn't want you in front of the camera because they wanted you had to give sex to people. Danielle said, I wouldn't even trust this witness. He's too performative and still friendly. Seems like he has a personal vendetta. But I'm not a juror. He's probably happy that none of y'all is jurors. Jess said he was your dream. Jess said Heavy D was my dream guy. Aaliyah said that catfish episode mentioning Kelly Price lives rent free in my head. Hey Joe, good to see you. Joy said it's always been more socially acceptable for men to be heavy and not for women. Yeah, that's a whole nother. See, he could have broke them type of ceilings. Get the unusual suspect of women that have a great voice. But no, not Puffy. That's not what he did. So let's go on. So he done set him up with Michael Jordan. And then Michael B. Jordan. So then Nash said, so she basically, Mia drove it home, making sure he had the number. And then the attorney for Diddy was like, so a bad boy employee set her up with Michael Jordan. And he said, that's Michael B. Jordan. Don't mess that up. I'm sure they was in there laughing at him. I don't know if the judge is going to be happy about it or that's Michael B. Jordan. Don't mess that up. Like, that's a different fine, okay? So basically, yeah, a bad boy employee, which was Mia, was your assistant, and she set Puff's girlfriend up with Michael B. Jordan. Do you know Andre Branch? No. You were aware Cassie was in a relationship with Andre Branch? Oh, the cute football player? Oh, yes, but I never met him. So he's like, oh, the cute football player? Yeah, I never met him. And in 2016 with Brandon of the NFL, the NBA, sorry. So she messed with the NFL and I guess the NBA player. In these texts, you talk with Cassie about Michael B. Jordan. You say, no one better say ish to me, L-Y. What is L-Y? Love you, or maybe it's a typo. L-Y, know everything. I don't remember. I'm sure we were being antagonized by your clients. I don't remember what it means, but I'm sure it was something that had to do with your grimy client over there. Oh, very messy, okay? He is the stereotype of stereotypes. Like,
nah, for real.
What's the T said? Shout out to the only man we've heard trying to stop Diddy from beating Cassie. A gay man. A real man. The rest of them was punks. That's from What's the T. Mia helped them too. You know they gotta be a woman somewhere there involved. I'm just saying. It said Mia helped too. Mia probably jumped on his back first, and then the other guy was like, shoot, I can't look like no punk. I got to jump this fool too. But what he should have did was got that glass Pepsi bottle or that ashtray. That's what he should have did. If you can't beat him, he would have needed security that day. I would have had a civil lawsuit because he probably would have dangled me over that balcony like he did the other lady. Cause I can't see that. I just can't see you beating my friend up in my face. I can't see you putting your hands on me, and I just be like, oh no, please don't. Like, one of us gonna be in handcuffs. One of us. I just can't see it. But hey, again, like some people have said on the internet, they have interactions. Puff was scary. He had reach. So maybe people was just like, but hey, this guy wasn't scared of him. He was trying to jump on him. So apparently, like you said, some people didn't have that fear like that because he done choked you out before, but you still jumped on him to protect your friend. And that's what I'm saying with you don't be thinking about what the consequences are. So, like, to me, that's just innate where you're a protector and you try to protect people you love. So that's why I'm not getting a lot of these people. Y'all don't understand. Everybody keeps saying, why didn't you help? And I'm like, y'all don't know him. He's like this and he can do this. You just don't think about stuff like that in those moments. Those are unexpected in the moment. So your first reaction, especially if you're, in this world, if you predator or you prey. And that's the same with mentality. Do I want to be a prey? Do I want to get preyed on? Or that's just what it is. And it's like, no, I'm not going to be nobody's prey. I'm sorry. You're not about to, we both out here predators. We about to be biting each other. So I don't know. Man, listen, I ain't saying I would have won Philly Girl 2. I put it out there. I don't want no smoke with no men. I don't want them coming up trying to bust me in my face when they don't like me. But I'm just saying, if you bust me in my face, you gonna have a big story to tell. After I busted her face. She found an object. She busted me in my head. Then she went to her car. I tried to run after her with the car. She tried to swerve to run me over. You're going to have a whole fantastical story if that happens. Now, I might have to go to the hospital. I might need a gauze or two. But just watching that, I can't. And I'm not saying it I've never been in them situations. I'm saying it from how it's been. You don't really think about what's the consequence. Are they going to come after me? Are they going to come after my family? You don't think that when you're in the moment if you're that person. Like that just is a protector. So maybe everybody just ain't like that. But shout out to Mr. Nash. Mr. Nash, he said, no, not on my watch. Why do they need to call all these men names? I know Michael B. Jordan is like, I get it. How dynamic for life said, Pam, you can't tell you from Detroit. Maybe it is a Detroit thing, but I know people from different states that's like that too. So, but yeah, I'm sure Detroit is part of it. That's kind of how we were raised. We protected people in our community. You ain't mess with old people and you ain't mess with kids. And if it was a big fight with somebody in your hood, you were a part of the fight. So it's just like how I went. But yeah. And then I had brothers and I had a dad that was fully protected. Auntie Gigi said, I once told dude, I'm not saying I can beat a man's behind, but he will know he's been in a fight. That's it. That's what it is. Thank you. All right, let me pull this back up. So he done named the NFL player and the NBA player. So then he says, so they have texts about Michael B. Jordan. Cassie was upset by Gina. She said, girl, let's go out and do our thing. So basically she wasn't that mad, but she would tell him, let's go hang out and I'm about to twerk on somebody or something because he out here with Gina. Do what she want to do? Actually, we are both pretty chill. Stayed in the house a lot, but that would be fair. Let's read these messages. You do the blue. And then he looking at it. Oh, you got some names in here. So then the attorney like, just go ahead. Like, all this extra, can you just go ahead? And then he like, where you going? And he responding as Cassie, secret trip out of town. And then he respond, girl, and the whole courtroom apparently started laughing because he's probably being animated in these texts. Good friends don't cry. That's not my method. I just replied, girl. Combs' attorney said, highlight the green part. Cassie is telling you October 30th, 2013, after the incident with the cut on her face, he says, I've already been turning up too much. Yeah, texting me, sorry, I tell him like I'm on live. So he basically says, let me read that one again. This is from Nash. Good friends don't cry. That's not my method. I just replied, girl. So then Donaldson says, highlight the green part. Cassie is still telling you October 30th, 2013, after the incident with the cut on the face, she says, I've already been turning up too much. So this is after, I guess, the whole, she hit the bedpost and they was spinning around like the helicopter because he was on his back and all of that. So then Combs' attorney says, you say you saw her with the black eye on FaceTime around the time of the Intercontinental? I saw her in person. When her makeup would wear off, you could see it. And then the judge said, let Mr. Donaldson ask the questions. Like, stop giving some. Yeah, the judge was getting over it. He like, listen, you doing a lot, sir. So then Mr. Donaldson said, you read these after Cassie said, this ink is wasted. We both did the same. And then Nash said, is there a lot of people there? Oh, it's talking about a Gwen Stefani song. Donaldson said, he said, take your broke arse home and ride into the sunset. And Nash said, and we did. Did she mention to you about having threesomes with other men? He said, ugh. No, she didn't tell me. Go in the room. Now you're doing a lot. Not you talking about it's disgusting. You don't even know what we're talking about. Oh Lord, I'll be trying to let her sit here. You know what I'm saying? If she quiet, but then she want to get in a conversation. She want to be nosy about the marriages, and now she talking about some disgusting. Sorry, y'all. She was like, disgusting. Okay. All right. And she was so nonchalant. She literally was sitting over there with her iPad. So I'm thinking she ain't paying no attention. She just like doing her little game, and that's it. And she over there all in this whole transcript. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Hit the like button though. Subscribe to the channel. Okay. Did she mention to you about having threesomes with other men? No. She didn't tell me. So then he said, Mr. Nash, read that to yourself, then lift up. On May 10th, 2025, you told the government the videos came from her phone. He said, no, I told them that he would take her on her phone. Then Donaldson said, isn't it true? She said videos were from her phone. He will record it on her phone. I stand firm on that. You say Mr. Combs said you won't do this one thing for me. Yes. So, just like the devices, I guess, that they found, it sounded like the videos that they're talking about was on the phone. So, I don't know how he's threatening her to release stuff that's on her phone, but I did she send it to him after the fact? Did she email it to him when it was over? Like, how would he have it? I don't know. So then Mr. Donaldson for Combs said you saw Mr. Combs pointing in Cassie's face in the blind dragon, right? But you never told the government, right? The first you said is at trial. Nash said, I guess so. I gave them very little by phone. She said she didn't want to go.
Oh, see? My bad. Oh, man.
Combs and Donaldson said, you helped pick her clothes for court. Nash said she couldn't fit anything. She needed clothes. So he done helped pick her clothes that she wore for court when she took. They really good friends. They're really good friends. Okay. She couldn't fit anything. She needed clothes for the pregnancy. Right. On that Friday after she finished, she called you and said, I'm done. It wasn't like that. So he trying to distance himself, like, of course the defense is trying to say, you basically done talked to her about her testimony, and y'all good friends to the point where you was picking out her clothes. Like, what you need a stylist for, like, for court? So you done picked out her clothes as your friend, I guess, because even though they're stylish, whatever. So, and then when she got finished, she told you she was done with her testimony. How are they getting all this information so fast? Are they like subpoenaing text all the way up to the time they hit the stand? Even during, they're still subpoenaing these companies while they're in trial? Because that's like crazy. It wasn't like that. Did you get Cassie super high? What? No, I did not. The judge was like, Mr. Nash, don't give us. Just like, listen, bro, I'm going to need you to just stay on task. Mr. Nash, stop giving us more information than what we asked. Then the attorney said, this 29th birthday, you say she packed sex toys in her duffel bag from the bedroom, right? Correct. Mr. Combs didn't say grab the sex toys. They were going, so then Donaldson said, on the golf cart, let's talk about Las Vegas, New Year, 2016-17. You said you were told Cassie was sleeping all day. Correct, but put up DX 1847 for the parties only. What's this? Cassie. The low budget producer you mentioned was there? Yes, right next to me snoring. You say Cassie told you another man was coming over and asked you to leave. Both of us. Your reaction was, he sighed. Yes. So wait a minute. You said he was sleeping all day. You were told Cassie was sleeping all day. So then they put up DX 1847 only for the party, so nobody else saw it in the courtroom. And it was a picture of Cassie. And then they asked, the low budget producer you mentioned was there. So was somebody else there? He said, yes, right next to me snoring. Huh? You say Cassie told you another man was coming over and asked you to leave. Both of us. So he was there with somebody else. And Cassie said she having company and I'm going to need you to go. Okay. Then Donaldson said, you saw a man walking around knocking on the door and they let him in. He says, yes. Were there were not drugs, right? Nash said we were doing them in our separate places. Once I start working, I just start going. I was packing my 10 body bags. It seemed like a lot of people that worked for him, some of them was doing drugs too. Because this ain't the first one we heard, and they're like, I ain't do it when I was on the job. I just did it when I was off the clock. Then they went to a hotel, and again, she didn't tell you she didn't want to go, correct? Actually, she said she wanted to stay home, work on her music. See how he just throwing stuff in there because it's gonna be basically Diddy prevented her from her albums being released and her music coming out because she had to be involved with all these freak offs. So, like Cassie did say, the freak offs became a job, and one of the reasons why the music didn't get released is because she was too busy doing the freak offs. The problem with that is, it sounds like she had a lot of music, it just wasn't released. That's different. It wasn't like he was preventing her from making music. It was the music was being made, but it just wasn't released. In order to make music, you got to be at the studio to make the music. So you couldn't have been doing the freak offs in an alternatively. But it sounds like she made a lot of music, which is what some of these songwriters are coming out saying. They were with Cassie while she made the music, and they felt like Puff never had intention of them coming out. So that's one of the lawsuits that came out. Like, they made all this music, and then but he really did never had a desire for them to come out.
Who?
So,
Do I need something from Amazon? That's a
so
good
then
question.
Combs' attorney says, then they went to a hotel, and again, she didn't tell you she didn't want to go, correct? Actually, see, she said she wanted to stay home, work on her music, and he said, read the green. Enjoy y'all time together. Y'all don't get much of this. So, man, his attorney son. That's you telling Cassie in January 2017 to enjoy her time with Puff, correct? Yes. Cassie wrote, I spoke up for myself. And you wrote, you wish you were with them on vacation. And he said, no, I'm in Mexico, not with them. I want to go to Mexico. I didn't want to go with them. So they're pulling up text messages where she said they spending time together. And he's like, enjoy your time. I know you don't get much of it. So then Mr. Donaldson says, Cassie wrote, the next room is on the beach. This one on the golf course. I have everything organized. He wrote, LOL. Do you all have a lot of ish? And Donaldson, who was acting as Cassie, said, yes, but we made it all fit. And then Nash responded, girl, you always on vacation. So then Combs' attorney said, you stayed in touch with Mr. Combs. He said, yeah, because he was cutting up. Donaldson said, oh, I get it. You did a seafood thing with Cassie? Correct. So then they pull up DX 1814, another exhibit. You know Ken, or proposed exhibit probably. You know Ken Porter, who tragically passed? Yes. You knew Andre Harrell passed? Yes. You texted Mr. Combs to make sure he was okay? Correct. And Mr. Combs wrote to you, the trainer? You could have given me a heads up. Black heart emoji. How is she? He meant Cassie. Yes. So basically, he's telling, sorry about Kim Porter, because Kim Porter passed away. He was the first one, I guess, in November. Remember, Cassie said she broke up with him August 2018. Kim Porter passed in November 2018, and she went down there to be with him. And apparently, that's when everybody knew about her basically being with the trainer. And so that conversation is going on where it comes like, so you just couldn't even tell me, giving me the heads up that she was messing with the trainer now? And I get people saying the audacity. Like, you was walking around here with Kim, Gina, Trina, just like DMX. They was Susie, Tracy, Pam. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how he was with these women. But That's how they are. Like they want to control, just like I said with Neo. Yes, I have 4 girlfriends, but they have to be monogamous with me. You know, guys can't handle that. They can go out and do whatever, but if you do whatever, it's a problem. So he want to hold heads up, and he want people to warn him, even though he been out here spreading it low and spreading it wide for I don't know how long. PROs and different area codes. LB said, I think most of the people in the industry are on drugs. And Max said that's what Puff did with 112, the Locks, Carl Thomas. He would hold music and force the artist to another label to buy themselves out the deal. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying it's right, but what I'm saying is Cassie is not the only one. This is what he did. He will get you one good album. He will get you out there for people to know you. Your album will probably do well. And then you didn't really hear about them. You're like, dang, when your new music coming out? Every interview, when is your new music? I don't know. We've been in the studio. We've been working. I got some fire coming out. Just be patient. I got some fire coming out. And then, like he did day 26, he sell you off to the highest bidder. Like he, or you need to, if somebody wants you, then they need to buy you out of my contract. But oftentimes, a lot of these people, they couldn't do nothing with anybody else. If you look at any of these people that went to other labels, it's very few that actually were able to do things outside of Puff. And I think it may have been like an ego and arrogance thing as well, because he almost wanted to prove that half of y'all ain't even nothing without me, type thing. Like y'all can't make it without me. I'm the reason why you blew up like you did, and I'm gonna show you because you're gonna go to another label and you're not gonna do what you did over here. So that's why I'm saying to try to say that Cassie's was stifled is crazy to me. Cause again, like I said, she got into the industry not based, I don't think, on her talent. That's my opinion. Based on what Ryan Leslie said. So you get into the industry because you a face. And then you're saying that Diddy did what Diddy does. She was probably the safest, still collaborating with Ryan Leslie. Ryan Leslie actually produced other songs with Puff, like outside of Cassie. He was already working with Puff before the Cassie situation was presented to Puff. So they had a working relationship. She would have been probably better if she would have stayed in that collab, right? And then in that within that collab, it was like Ryan Leslie was trying to push her album to come out immediately. He said they were him and Puff wrote that album with you and me on it, or me and you, on it in like 14 days. And he said he pushed it because he said he knows how record labels will do your albums and then they sit on it and they don't have no release date. So that is what the record label, like that's the industry. And that's what I'm saying. The way the government is kind of talking is like you don't know how the industry works. But oh, Tanya said, I don't believe all these people knew about what was going on at the hotel. I think they put it together after everything came out. Yeah. Pam, you're wrong. Cassie was messing with everyone that he knew. What am I wrong about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Elaborate, especially when you got exclamation points like you yelling. Because I want to yell back. So I want you to elaborate so I could yell back at you when I do my response. Rough Riders and DMX forced him to let the locks go. Wow. Look at you, Mac, knowing your hip hop history. And Lee Leo said that kind of what started the beef between him and 50. 50 wanted to sign Mace, but Diddy wanted 2 million to release Mace, and 50 didn't want to pay that much. And Mace said, "I'm out. I'll go be a soldier for the Lord." Okay, that's what Mace said. All of a sudden, he was Pastor Mace. People didn't know this how Puff operated at the time. Auntie Gigi said Prince spoke on it. Yeah, that's why Prince did the whole where he gave up his name. It was like I'm the symbol. Like we forgetting about all these people that had all of these issues with the labels. Like this was not how the labels ran. It don't make it right, but it's what they did because they knew they had the power. They were gatekeepers. This is why record labels are struggling now. Why? because now you can be an independent artist. You got CD Baby, you got Spotify, you got all these places you can put out your own music on. Apple, you can put it out yourself. You don't need them to put it out. They are not the gatekeepers of distribution deals and all of that anymore. You can get on TikTok and be a random and your stuff go viral. Now it's to the point where record labels don't even want to sign you unless you already got a presence on the internet because of how important it is. That's not how it used to be. If you wanted to get the shows, if you wanted to get the spins on the radio and all of that, you had to be connected with someone. People had radio scouts that would go and shop their albums or whatever to different radio stations. You see what happened with Wendy Williams when she started talking about Diddy, allegedly, because I wasn't there, but the allegation or the story goes that they say when Diddy got mad at Wendy, he basically said, "I'm not gonna let you play any Bad Boy songs as long as she working here." And he was the big thing back then. That's alleged. I wasn't there, Diddy, so I'm just saying what I was told. That's how much control you had. He gave her dummy work. She made a lot of music for the sake of him saying she was working, but he didn't put it out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She said she testified basically that she was not, that freak offs became her job, where it like interfered with her real job, which is being an artist. No, she put out music. Now they can try. I mean, she actually was in the studio a lot, and Capricorn said she was in there, and he was spending more time on her than any of his other artists because that was his girlfriend. Now, to say that it wasn't put out, that's probably a truth serum. But then you got the problem of how many people did he put out their music after the first time? Like that was part. He was almost like fixer upper. He could have been. Bad Boy was like flip or flop, okay, of the music industry. If you were successful and you were out there and he got you out there, you getting flipped, and they gonna send you to the highest bidder. That's what it was. If you flopped, you was a tax write off. That's what it was. That's what they were doing in the industry. So that's probably I think he held on to her longer because that was his girlfriend. So maybe he was trying to pour into her because of that. But I don't think that he used her. He blocked her career because I don't think she really was that girl like that to even do that. Now, if it was somebody that came forward like Whitney Houston with a story like that, you would be like, "Oh, your beautiful voice, she was the princess of pop." Yeah, that probably happened. But I'm saying with Cassie, I'm not understanding the logic behind it when she never was really a good artist like that. That's all. ATP, I just want to see the actual evidence. Not hearsay from Cassie's friends. The case is exhausting. It's very exhausting. It is. And I actually, you can get good district, and this is for any artist out here or whatever. There's some free game. If you can find somebody that does a good distribution deal, meaning some people still do buy vinyl, especially people that DJ. Some people still do buy CDs. For the most part, it's streaming. Streaming don't pay much. That's why they always fighting to get more pennies and stuff on it, because you get paid 0.0001. You know what I'm saying? So they don't pay per spin. That's why I tell people download somebody's album for $9.99 or their single for $2.99. I do it all the time and I support people. Yes, I get to play it all the time, but that's more akin to a CD where people got paid, per CD or tape that they actually sold. So find you a good distribution deal company, and a lot of these distributors, they are now offering like marketing because that's really all you need for it. You trying to get out there, but it's ways to get around it, and unless it's such a good deal, like sometimes being on somebody's label, like if Michael Jackson was alive and was like, "Hey, I'm be on my label," I probably would, regardless of what's out here, because you affiliated with Michael Jackson. But you still don't lock yourself into like these ridiculous in perpetuity 360s or whatever type of deals that you had to do back then to get in. You can't do that. 360 deals were anything you do, I get a piece of it. How are you ever gonna make money? That's how you end up with the TLCs and all of that with those type of deals. So I think a lot of it is people just don't understand the industry is why it seems so egregious. But and again, I'm not saying this right. I'm just saying that's how the industry was working. Tamala said, I think he kept her around for the FOs and R&King. Do you think he loved her to the capacity he knows how to love her? Do you think he did? Because she seems to think so. She says she thinks he loved her and she loved him. Hey, Butterfly 23, good to see you. And Max said, facts, you don't even have to pay to go see the artist live. People post whole concerts. They sure do. I'm not saying don't go to their concerts because they do get paid for appearances. And some of my old clients do that, so I'm not gonna promote that. You know what I'm saying? But it is true. You can watch a whole people showing their phones. I was surprised that Beyonce and them didn't have one of those no phones or whatever. But a lot of comedians do that because they be saying the same. They do the same jokes. But I mean, in theory, she's doing the same shows too. Because we know the little one gonna come out and do her thing. She not doing this no more because y'all was talking about it. So now she's like, okay, y'all want me to be pretty because you think something wrong with me just because I'm excited that my mama is the GOAT. She changed from to because y'all was talking about her on the internet. Miss Gigi said, I don't think he loved her. I think he saw her as property. Y'all forgetting Cassie canceled her own tour after getting that 20 million. Music is not that important to her. Well, she said she was stressed, Cuddy K. Andrew said she also seems to think she was talented, so I don't think I'll trust her judgment whether he loves her. Well, listen, Andrew, you was in the you were in the members only. I think you can understand why she thought she was talented. Like how fast she was at, like this was a whirlwind for her. It wasn't anything she really wanted to do, like she was really looking for. It just ended up happening. She really has that once in a lifetime type of a story. She really does. It wasn't the person that's been standing at the gas station with their CDs. It wasn't the person that was sitting going to the clubs trying to do karaoke every night. We got people in Detroit that do karaoke. They at Burt's Place, like outside doing their thing. She wasn't that person trying to find a little jazz set in Baker's Lounge. That's one of our jazz clubs here. She don't have those stories. She literally got on immediately, and all she did was drop a song on a CD, and she didn't even do the whole song because she wanted to go out. So she didn't even stay in the studio for the whole song. So Ryan Leslie finishes the song according to him, and then once Tommy Mottola sees her, he wants to meet her because she's a beautiful lady. So that's like really the crux of how she got into the industry. It wasn't even anything like that. So if things happen like that, then you end up getting with the head of bad boy, where you can get assistance, you can get all this. So everything has moved fast, where she was able to, I think really in her mind, she thought she was better than what she was when it came to her time. Because of how fast everything. Wayne, thank you for the super chat. He said thank you for doing the Lord's work. Freak, oh no, freak. Freak or no Rico. Rashida said she was supposed to think that even if no one will have faith in you, you should have faith in yourself. Okay, Rashida. Rashida, do you know how to do ballet? Because I need you to come on and do a video. And I want you to do your plies and all your turnarounds. And I want you to sit there and tell me, I'm good. And you should say, I should think that just because. I ain't getting on nobody's platform doing nothing unless it's like gospel or something in the church. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta know where your talents lie. So you should just think that just because you're supposed to think hardy of yourself regardless. I don't know if I'm gonna go be a chef and go on Chef's Cook, the cooking show, knowing I can't cook a lick. But I should just cut those potatoes. I should just cut the meat. I should season it. Knowing I don't know how to cook a lick, but I should have faith in myself that they gonna pick me, even though I don't know how to cook. Like we gotta draw a line somewhere. I'm just saying. But I love y'all, though. I do. Rashida, I do. I love you. I love
Look,
you,
she
sis.
posted me, y'all.
I wish Wendy was well to follow. Oh, yes. Wendy would be having a ball. Her ratings would be the highest they ever been. I would love to hear what she say and the faces made. She'd be picking up her little cup. You sure, Melanie? Y'all don't want to just. She may have generally been attention seeking, fame and notoriety from where and whoever may have enticed her. Music, acting, arm candy may not have mattered. That's a true statement. You know, that could be, Ray Bishop. Thank you so much for your intellectual analysis. We appreciate it over here. Hey, cousin, good to see you. You said Diddy would be a fool to take the stand, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did. That's from Everyday People 629. Why do you think that? Like, what else are they gonna say? Like, we already know he allegedly kidnapping people. He allegedly beating her. Well, we know on the video, but there's a lot of other stories of Capricorn saying she got kicked down the driveway like a kickball, not even a human being, until she hit the doggone curb of the street. We already know there was alleged threats. We already know there were other males involved. We already know there were like, what door is he really opening if he gets on the stand? I don't know. But again, that will be up to the defense. He does not have to testify. It's not his burden. And so we can't shift the burden either. That's up to the prosecution, where they got to carry their burden. So it's going to be interesting to see if they try to do a directed verdict and try to say that they haven't. Well, typically we do it anyway, whether we going to get it or not. But pretty privilege at its finest. That's from Peachy Bama. Yes, remember the gay rapper that Wendy had us all wondering about for always forever. Well, she made some insinuations on her radio show, which is what allegedly caused some of the rift with her and Diddy. Wendy would have changed the format of her show for this case. She sure would have. It would have been all things Diddy. She wouldn't have had no guests. She wouldn't have nobody. All right, let's get back to this here reading. So we just got done where apparently Diddy was questioning Nash about, why didn't you tell me that she was with the trainer? So then Donaldson said, in 2020, you wrote to Mr. Combs, I love you. Anything you need, I got you. You gonna choke me out. I don't even work for you no more. You gonna choke me out on the doggone car. I jump on your back, you flinging me off like nothing. You smack me and whatever else he said that the man did to him. And you gonna write him in 2020, I love you. Anything you need, I got you. Said yes. Then Mr. Donaldson said, Mr. Combs won an award that year and you congratulated him. He said, I don't think so. I asked how to RSVP for his party for someone else, Claire Sommer. So he's saying he ain't congratulate him. He just was trying to see how he can get somebody on the VIP list for his party. One thing my chat gonna do is they gonna diagnose somebody. Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me. Oh, you keep me in the loop, right? Can't no kid around here do nothing. You gonna tell on your brothers, ain't you? Oh, okay. Thank you so much. So yeah, he calls trying to get the VIP, you know. He probably told his homegirl, I'm no puff. I can text him and get you in if that's what you want. I got the hookup. I got connections. Okay. So then, Donaldson says, Cassie told you about a secret trip. The government said, I object. The judge said, sustain. Donaldson said, you deeply cared for Cassie for 15 years. He says, yes. She kept secrets from you. and I do for her. We don't have to tell each other everything. Jonathan said nothing further, so that was it. So then there was redirect, and the government said, "Why were you afraid for her?" He said, "Things could get violent fast." What devices did Mr. Combs use to film her? Hers. You said they appeared high at the. She moved on. So it sounds like, according to him, whoever told him this, the freak off that she had was on her own phone. So how is he showing her? Well, I guess maybe if it was a bad boy's phone, maybe he said it's in the cloud and he got access. But then he had a text that he was deleting it off the cloud because she was concerned. So I don't know about this whole device thing, because then when they found devices, the only ones that had the freak offs on it allegedly so far, we got 2 more weeks left for their testimony for the government. The only ones that were on there were the ones that they found that had these videos and texts and all of that, was the ones they had in possession that Cassie had. And one of the devices Cassie had was actually Diddy's device, allegedly, because they had the Frank Black to sign in. So you said they appeared high at the 29th birthday party. He said yes. Was Mr. Combs in control of his actions? Yes. And what did you say? You're going to get some it tonight. I think that's what he allegedly said, right? Ain't that supposed to be what Combs said? You're going to get some peen tonight. Then the government said, did she want to go? He says, no, no further questions. Nothing for me, Mr. Nash, you are excused. So the next one is a pseudo name. There is to be no recording. Who was recording? Was somebody recording this? Maybe they got the voice recording. I know we can get those when we do oral arguments. So this is Mia. She wanted to be under a pseudo name. Don't show the exhibit. What is it? My passport. Show it for the jury only. So Brian Steele is crossing. I would like to see it too. Where are you from? Virginia Beach, Virginia. Who is this? Sean Combs. What did you call him? Puff. I worked for him as personal assistant. He got more personal assistants than the personal assistant. Like, come on. Mia, then as a director of development and acquisition for Revolt Films. So it's like everybody come as a personal assistant, and then I guess he do have them like elevate to be in certain positions. That's interesting. So are they trying to use that maybe that he tries to get them in a personal assistant, like a personal situation, and then have them working for the company to show the overlap? But we do know he had legitimate businesses, right? Puff's mood changed all the time. Was he violent to you? Yes. He's thrown things at me. He's thrown me against the wall, into a pool, ice bucket on my head, slammed my arms into a door, and he actually assaulted me. What? Ooh, we Diddy. Ooh, Diddy.
This girl get crazy. This girl get crazy. Cause she gonna tell it all.
Ooh, Diddy.
Ooh, Diddy. Diddy did it. Did he do it?
All right.
Diddy did it.
The government said actually assaulted you more than once. More than once. Did you want to be in the arts? Yes. This was before social media. I thought if I put my mattress on my car and drove to New York, I could do it. I went to work for Georgina Chapman, red carpet dressing. So some of these people, I guess, they want to eventually get into the industry, and they just try to, like with Puff when he said He wanted to get in the industry, so he was an intern for A&R, basically worked for free. He was doing the parties. Like Martha Reeves, like they'll say, she was actually a singer, but she went in and she was like doing secretarial work, like executive work.
Absolutely.
So they just want to kind of get in the building in order to get a chance.
Yep.
So maybe this is what she's saying. Like eventually she wanted to get in the arts, and so some of these people just take the positions that's available so they can get his proximity. So they can just have the proximity to the person of which they're trying to get into.
Exactly.
Then he says, then I was an assistant to Mike Myers. So that's why Mike Myers' name came up when people was like, why is Mike Myers on the list? Like, why are they asking the jurors about Mike Myers and Michael B. Jordan? Now we know why Mike Myers on the list, because Mia, who is a pseudonym, we don't really know her real name. She's saying that she was in the industry and she did red carpet, and she was the assistant to Mike Myers. How did Mr. Combs hire you? I met with the recruiter. I met with HR and Tony Baez Fletcher. Did Mr. Combs interview me? I guess you. Did Mr. Combs interview you? He, at his apartment, he was on the phone wearing his underwear. The HR lady left. So your first interview, this dude was in his drawers? No suit, no tie, no khakis, no button up. He was in drawers. Did he put on clothes? Yes. I figured like somebody told me what her real name was, but I'm like, that ain't gonna be my place. You judge, your honor, as an officer of court, you said she need to be a pseudonym. She's a pseudonym over here. What you want her, Mia, Tia, whatever you want her name is, that's what it is. Did he put on clothes?
What's her
Yes.
real name?
Did you
Who's Mia?
Yes,
Who's the real Mia?
excited. How much did you expect to work? A lot, but I didn't fully understand. How much were you paid? $50,000. What did you do on your first day? HR told me I was on trial for 2 weeks. So that's not really uncommon to have like a trial period.
Who was Mia's? What's Mia's real name? Who is Mia?
I think I was at a job. They had that much for like, what is it, like after 90 days or something? You're supposed to be a permanent person. So a lot of times when you go to some of these jobs, the 89th day they get rid of you. So like it's not that you have kind of a trial period. But anyway, where did you start? His Alpine, New Jersey house. I was there all day. Then where? Back to the office for a few hours more. Then I was told Puff wanted me to come to the studio. How long were you there? Until 1 p.m. the next day. Then where did you go? Puff's apartment, then home. How fast did you have to return? I didn't take a nap. I didn't want to risk it all. How much did you sleep during your first 24 hours on the job? I didn't. I took it as a challenge. Hell no. Ain't no way. I'm sorry. I get it, y'all. I understand.
Pam,
But
you
were
don't.
looking for a job when you found this one, and you can keep looking. Okay.
Pam don't understand what a personal assistant consists of a celebrity. This is a celebrity we talking about, y'all.
I'm sorry.
She didn't take a nap on the first 24 hours on the job.
Take your job.
This is not a 9 to 5 gig. This is a personal assistant to a celebrity. Come on, let's be real.
Like, no, this ain't it. This ain't it, partner. Mm-mm.
And that's why Pam is in law and not a personal assistant to a celeb. Come on, guys.
That's it, Livy P. Everybody was always trying to prove themselves to him, and he took advantage of that. He definitely took advantage of that. These people are willing to do anything. You don't even know me, and you willing to stay up. First of all, you meet me in your drawers. Okay, that's our last meeting. That's the first problem. And I'm not saying there's men that walk around like that, so I'm not saying that. But from a professional standpoint, you can't be serious right now. You coming to me like that, you cannot be serious. So I'm gonna keep it moving. I've already gotten too pretty. Like, why did I wonder why she left being the assistant to the fashion designer and being the assistant to Mike Myers, because you had to know. Like, is this something that you were used to with them? So you thought this was normal, or what? Like, what made you've been an assistant before, so you have to know that this just ain't how it like 50,000. Nah, bro. Unless 50,000 is my stipend, because you paying for everything. I mean everything. Like, you telling me to send you my bill from the restaurant, everything. You giving me a gas card for my car that you pay for, everything. You have all of the bills in the apartment in Manhattan that you paying for in your name. Then you give me 50,000. Because I ain't
What's
got enough money
Mia's
for no
real
baby
name?
shower
Who
for
is
my
Mia,
son.
y'all? Who is Mia?
Yes, Diddy was mean because he could. Who in his life that could be like, bro, you be doing too much? Because the problem is he hung around a lot of other music moguls that probably acted similarly. So who in your life, was it a goddaddy, a uncle, somebody that be like, boy, that ain't how you treat people? People just let you do it. And that's why I said these security guards trying to hide their hand. I ain't do nothing. I was trying to protect. No, you wasn't. You was right there watching all this foolishness go on. When he said jump, y'all was like, okay, I'll hide. All y'all, if anybody should be at that table, half of them people should be right next to him. And that's how I feel. That unindicted co-conspirator type stuff or whatever, or y'all being a part of the enterprise is bullcrap. If y'all taking people to buildings to lock them in to do lie detector tests, you should be right next to them too. Because all you got, if nobody was dealing with this foolishness, he wouldn't be who he is. If people was like, "No, bro, I'm not doing that, and I'm gonna report you," or "No, bro, I'm gonna personally break your neck. You put your hand on her." If they did that, he would know. Okay, maybe I can't get away without seeing some of them other people do. Trump just gonna pardon Diddy, giving them away. I wouldn't be shocked and past BB at this point. Trump like to be controversial. He likes the rough. This is right up his This would be right up his alley. Like, he likes to show that he goes against the grain. He's not your average politician. So that would not he's not going to um go by what the norm is. You got to put on this big presentation. You can say, listen, I voted for you because I thought that you was the best person for the job, and I got look, my auntie was wrongfully, she been in there for 30 years for a robbery, and I think that's excessive. All right, I'm gonna commute your sentence. All right, thank you. Like, that's how he giving them away. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Any of my clients going federal time, I mean, Trump is like, come to my office, and I'm gonna go ahead and pardon them. I'm there. Y'all can talk about me, but I'm a person that you get what you can get, and you keep it moving. And you chew the meat and spit out the bones. That's how I go. Because my job as an advocate is I advocate for all my clients, and I do wrongful convictions, so that's up my alley. But Roger Bond even said he stopped working with Diddy because he couldn't take seeing what Diddy was doing, and because he now has daughters. Okay, so Roger Bond, like, cut it out. And that ain't no, like, disrespect to him or whatever. Like, cut it out. That's all I gotta say. Like, your name came up. So his indictment is between 2004 and 2021, I think. No, 23. 23 maybe. It's almost recent. So it's like those are the years. So people like Gene Deal, from my understanding, they were his security prior to that. And I don't know how long they were. But it was like in the 90s or something that he was. So Gene Deal don't even cover the indictment years in there. So I'm sure if they even thought they was gonna put Gene Deal on there, they probably would have struck it, because he wasn't even a security at that time. If what people are saying that he said after Biggie's death, he didn't come back, and Biggie died in like '97 or something. So ain't no, I heard him say something about that's why he wanted to do Ciroc, because he said he was sick and he had diabetes and he used that as an excuse not to be his security anymore because he got tired of seeing it or whatever. And so that's supposed to be why he started just working for Ciroc, which was kind of like a separate entity, even though it's all under Puff. You ain't just leave him and say I don't want to be around it and I don't want to contribute and I don't want to help with his fortune and he be beating women. You, according to you, you went to a whole nother department according to what you said. You was the face of Ciroc, or not the face, but y'all know what I mean. He was promoting and marketing Ciroc. He bought them to overlook and do anything crazy. Yeah, cut it out. Rico is the only way to get them to divide and conquer. That's from a lady 747. Okay, let's finish and see what this lady gotta say. Okay. So she ain't take a nap. She ain't sleep during her first 24 hours on the job. She took it on as a challenge. And then she says there had been a TV show a few years before called I Want to Work for Diddy. It was like that. So there was a TV show called I Want to Work for Diddy. And apparently on this show, Diddy was showing what it takes to work for him. How did you deal with the lack of sleep? When I was young, I told myself, you can sleep at 3 p.m. Objection, overruled. How long did you stay up once? She said 5 days. I take Adderall, extended release. I could quasi function and stay awake. When did you go to sleep? My hearing went and my equilibrium was off. Blurred vision, lights that weren't there. I cried. Were you then told you could sleep? Yes. By whom? Puff. Why did you stay awake that long? I was working. And then they introduced exhibits. So this is going to be the underlying forced labor, I guess, under the one of the predicate acts. Then they have a long process, I guess, and then these exhibits are under seal. So then Combs' attorney, this is Brian Steele that is crossing. We renew our objection, so they objected to whatever was admitted. So this is admitted under seal. They're never going to let us see it. Apparently, it's under seal until some other ruling, potentially in the future, by the court. Mia, what is this? A list of my responsibilities. I sent to Tony Baez Fletcher on November 10th, 2011. Puff has said, I don't know what you do all day. Let's focus on a few things in this document. Please read this, Mia. So she says all of PD's social media present. Who is PD? Sean Combs, Puff Daddy. I wrote main liaison between PD and Hollywood. Did you do that? Blackberry 24/7. I wrote anticipate his moves. Why was this important? It dictated the day. You wrote every day is different. In that quote, he could ask you to crack his knuckles or do his taxes. Did you have an apartment? Yes, in NYC. Were you there much? No, my roommates joked they lived with a ghost. In LA, where did you stay? In the staff house, then in Puff's house. In Beverly Grove, then Beverly Crest Drive, then in Mapleton. In Miami, she stayed at 2-Star. Could you leave? Only with Puff's permission. Once I left at 2 a.m. after he was asleep, I got in big trouble. What happened? Security called me to say he was sending them to find me. I was at the first LA house, 2009 or 2010. Were you allowed to lock your bedroom door? No. He said it's my house. No one locks my doors in my house, so it wasn't really my room. But did security get to lock their doors? Yes, one had a deadbolt, another a keypad. So he was treating him like your kids. Cause I was like that with my kids. Don't lock your doors. And if you lock your doors, you will lose your doorknob. Okay. I don't want to see on the news somebody telling me your kid done brought some weapon or something to the school, and I'd be like, I didn't know. And that really drove where I was like, no, I need to be able to flip over some mattresses. I need to be able to search over in some, some tile. Okay. I need to look in your closets and look at still pants if I need to. Now I didn't do that all the time. I wasn't like invading privacy like that. When they were in school, so he was treating you like a kid. But you knew this on the first day that this dude was like wanting too much. You didn't sleep the first 24 hours. I'm really mad. For all you ever
She said, I'm really mad.
This is a shame. They were doing anything for money. I don't feel bad for them. Miss Lady, apparently they want a job that bad. That's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So then she says, I was told they were actively hiring other assistants. The government said, how long to Malcolm, the assistant who was there when you started to stay? She said 7 to 8 months. Were you the only one then? Yeah, for like a year. So they hired somebody else and they was like, nah, bro. Mm-mm. It seemed like the men didn't have a problem leaving. It's the women that seemed like they was like sticking around. Because if you see like those assistants, the other two assistants that was on there, I left. I'm the one quit. Nope, I left to do so and so and such and such. I worked for here. I was like, nah, I can't watch her get beat up. I seen her get beat up one time. But it seemed like the women were like staying here, almost allowing him to do whatever he wanted to do. How did you feel? I didn't have time to feel. It was insane. Puff gave me a pep talk like we were a team. He said, I need a second brain. Did he hire more? Yes, eventually, but I still felt like I was responsible. You got punished in various ways, getting cursed out, my intelligence insulted, and my job threatened. Who did those things? Puff. Who's this? George Kaplan. He was another personal assistant for Puff after me. What was Revolt Films? Puff and I started it together. Were you still performing personal assistant duties? Yes. How much did you get paid? $70,000, then $100,000. There were supposed to be bonuses. Did you get them? No. So then there was a break. So then they're back. They pull up an exhibit. Who is this? Cassie Ventura. How did you know her? Working for Puff, we became close friends. So it's like Cassie became close friends with everybody around her. Still today? Yes. How was their relationship? Highs and lows, unequal. Was there violence in their relationship? Yes. We'll get back to that. What was Mr. Combs' world with respect to her career? He decided on everything, shows, the look. And what is this? An email from Cass to Puff and others and me. When did she send it? It was like 4 a.m. It says 7 a.m., but we were in California. It was one of their hotel nights. What did she write? That she was canceling, apologizing to Interscope and others. Did Mr. Combs respond? Please read. Cass wrote about telling Slevin Hill. What did she mean, do you think? Stephen Hill of BT. Cass wrote, no support, no show. Why did you forward this to Tony Fletcher? I had to keep her informed. She was in charge of booking hotels. Did you ever see Mr. Combs on a movie set? Yes, everyone would be very nervous. He would insert himself. What was his role with respect to Cassie's appearance? He was in charge of it. Did you have exposure to Cassie's finances? Yes. How? I learned the company paid her credit cards and that the places where she lived were under the company's name and her cards. Did he take things away? Yes, cars and jewelry and support if he couldn't get her on the phone. He keep tabs on her through me. What is part of your job to spend this time with Cassie? Or was it part of your job to spend this time with Cassie? Yes, I had to do whatever Puff told me to do. Could you go where you wanted? No, we had to be where Puff told us we could be. And if not, something very scary. The punishment was unpredictable but terrifying. We'll talk some more about that as we get through your testimony. How would Mr. Combs communicate with Miss Ventura? Sometimes through me. Did you see violence? What kind? I saw a lot of aftermaths and injuries she had. I've seen him attack her and throw her on the ground. I've seen him like crack her head open. I've seen him chase her, things like that. Did she fight back? No. What did you hear and see? Suitcases being thrown in the foyer. Did you see Cassie after that? She was outside crying in a bush. She looked terrified. She gestured, I'm hiding. I'm not here. What did you do? Retreated. Did you tell anyone? I think the chef was in the kitchen. The sentiment was like, well, still was like objection. It was the same. What did the chef say to you? Objection, not for the truth. They said not for the truth. You just sustained it. What happened in Cassie's apartment? We were there, me, Cass, and Deontay Nash. What were you doing? Helping her pack for a big trip to London. Puff came banging on the door, very irate. How did he get in? Key from the front desk. And what was Mr. Combs asking Cassie? He said, have you been drinking or something? She hadn't answered his calls. What did Mr. Combs do? He came after me and Deontay screaming. Has she been drinking? He was very aggressive and he attacked her. He threw her to the ground. Me and Deontay jumped him and tried to stop it. And what did you do? Deontay is very small in comparison to Puff. There was a little tornado going on. He had Deontay in a position where I was scared he was going to kill him. Oh. So I jumped on Puff, but he threw me off against the wall. Didn't I tell you? I was like, I just picture like, get off me. I felt like I was in slow motion. I realized we were in big danger. He ran into the bedroom and grabbed Cass. Under her bed is the wood bed platform. He slammed her head into the corner. What injuries did Cassie get? Her head was gushing blood. What did Mr. Combs do? He got into protector and survivor mode. He said to call the doctor so-and-so. Tell them Cass was drunk and hit her head. Why did you do it? Because Puff said to. So man, Mia said his eyes were black. It was like he was looking through me. He was like completely, the judge like, let's go on to the next question. All of these extra all this extra information these witnesses are giving. Let's move on. I could totally see his eyes. Like I've seen little videos and you can see almost where his eyes switch up. So I kind of like know what she's referencing. Did you see Mr. Combs take drugs? Yes. When he was high, how did he appear? Sometimes the life of the party or hyper. Where was this? Ibiza or Burning, I don't know, one of y'all can tell me how to pronounce it, or Burning Man or music conferences. When he smashed her head, did he seem high? No. Did you go to Prince's party? Yes. And what happened the night before? Big award ceremony, Sweet in the Beverly. He told me to stay with Cassie, that he was going to be at his house with his kids. But then I heard about Prince's party. And what did you do? Cass and I debated like little kids if we should sneak out of the house and go to Prince's party. Oh my God, not sneaking out the house. They were all in domestic violence. That's what it sounded like, Miss Gigi.
Nah,
But DV,
real.
because they'll say DV relationships with like family, they call it DV. It's not just dating relationships, but let me see. What define? What is domestic abuse? It's called domestic violence or intimate partner violence, can be defined as a pattern of behavior in any relationship that is used to gain or maintain power and control over an intimate partner. Abuse is physical, sexual, emotional, economic, or psychological actions or threats of actions that influence another person. This includes any behavior that frighten, intimidate, terrorize, manipulate, hurt, humiliate, blame, injure, or wound someone. Domestic abuse can happen to anyone of any race, age, sexual orientation, religion, or gender. It can occur within a range of relationships, including couples who are married, living together, or dating. TV affects people of all socioeconomic backgrounds and education levels. Anyone can be a victim of DV regardless. Um, Recognizing the signs. Does your partner embarrass or make fun of you in front of your friends or family? Put down your accomplishments. Make you feel like you are unable to make decisions. Use intimidation or threats to gain compliance. Tell you that you are nothing without them. Treat you roughly, grab, push, pinch, shove, or hit you. Call you several times a night or show up to make sure you are where you said you would be. Use drugs or alcohol as an excuse for saying hurtful things or abusing you. Blame you for how they feel or act. Pressure you extrally for things you aren't ready for. Make you feel like there is no way out of the relationship. Prevent you from doing things you want, like spending time with friends or family. Try to keep you from leaving after a fight or leave you somewhere after a fight to teach you a lesson. Do you sometimes feel scared of how your partner may behave? Constantly making excuses to other people for your partner's behavior. Believe that you can help your partner change if you only change something about yourself. Try not to do anything that will cause conflict or make your partner angry. Always do what your partner wants you to do instead of what you want. Stay with your partner because you are afraid of what your partner would do if you broke up. That sounds like all of it, the domestic violence. But again, they're going to try to connect it and say it's coercion, even though it cleanly fits in the DV relationship. You said my mama used to pinch me at church. I can't stand pinching. All the older ladies used to do that, Tracy. They were ridiculous. Man, good vibes on it. I ain't nobody's psychologist, but I'm just saying this is defining him right now with this list. I'm glad you survived two sensible creations. So I don't know what's wrong with some of these men out here. Keep your hands to yourself before you lose them. No. Yeah, I said Trump can't wait to pardon. You think so? Yeah, it is familiar. It is mainly familial. I know that's how it is. Yeah, I was trying to look back at the DV cases I've been involved in. And I've seen family, like they call it DV when they show family, like mom, dad, sisters, brothers, and all of that. Unless he made it like they were family, because ain't that what they said? They're a team. So and I think Bad Boy was like that. They call it the Bad Boy family, right? So maybe it was the semblance of family that he was giving. And so they were trying to keep a lot of this violence in the family, like DV. I might have cracked the code. Maybe because of the whole we family, and that makes you want to, we keep family business in house. You know, they say, well, what happens in this house stays in this house. Maybe that's kind of what he ingrained in them as being a part of the family. But like Capricorn said it was something crazy on the first day that she could have left. This lady said it was crazy on the first day when she didn't sleep and he came in drawers. And maybe to him, that how you reacted on him doing this crazy stuff within the first 24 hours gave him the hindsight for futuristic, what you would be willing to tolerate and take. The thing is, first, these relationships were consensual. That's from Ninja Turtle. When they got in deeper, that's when all of the DV happened. That's when they felt it was too late to leave. At least that's how it sounds. You said a cult. That is similar to a cult. Mm-hmm. Joy said, you're showing what you will and won't accept. Yeah, it's very interesting, right? All right, let's get back to her testimony. Okay. So they debated like little kids if they should sneak out of the house and go to the Prince's party. So then Mia said Prince performed on a little table. Then I saw Puff come in with his bucket hat. We locked eyes. I thought, oh crap, Cash just booked it. So he come in the Prince party and she like, oh shoot, where did you go? Across the street there were woods or bushes, but Puff caught Cass and had her on the ground. So the definition with
note to self, right, says free Diddy.
depends, I think, on the statute.
I think Trump
our
caught
statute
Diddy
is
not now.
like, let me see, Michigan. Our statute has more than it. So they have ours is family or household member, which includes any of the following: a spouse or former spouse, an individual with whom the person resides or has resided. See, she lived with them. An individual with whom the person has or had a dating relationship. An individual with whom the person is or has engaged in actual relationship. An individual to whom the person is related or was formerly related by marriage. Individual with whom the person has a child in common. So those are kind of, so if his assistants actually lived with him, then I guess in theory from our statute, they could be considered DV as well. Because if you're like a roommate or you're staying, I mean, he's there as the assistant, but you're living with him. So I think part of that is, Scorpio vibes, thank you so much. Miss Gigi said one big dysfunctional family. Yeah, it depends on what the relationship is. If you don't live together, so like if you gotta here, like I'm just saying in our statute, I'm sure some are broader and some may not have as much as us, but ours is in Michigan. If you have a child in common, if you were related, used to be like an ex-husband or ex-wife, that would be DV. Ex-boyfriends, you might not live together anymore, but a lot of people stalk you when you get out of a relationship. So Abby said they may have thought what Ye did on the first day was for shock value to test them, but not a recurring thing. Maybe what he did, because we talking about Diddy right now. You need to be on the big screen because I'm in stitches. Listen to your transcript, reading and analysis. Great work. Thank you, Melly, and I appreciate it. But I can't mess with no industry that's like this. Now that haven't, from the legal standpoint, this has not been my experience, and that's like I said, sometimes you have to set those boundaries and don't be fanning out. Like when I've done work with them, it's like this is my money. And my friends that are quote celebrities or artists, I try to spend money and buy the ticket like everybody else. We don't have a lot of times they will comp me or I'll go to the back, whatever. But it's definitely I respect your art and I feel like, I'm doing good in my own right. I don't need to like connect myself to somebody to feel like I'm important. Like I don't need to do that. I never have. And so if you hire me to look over contracts or make sure things are in order before you come here to perform like I used to do, or like promoters that did the contracts and booking people, I used to do that as well. You got the money? Like, sign right, read it over. You got your lawyer? Okay. Read I emailed it to your lawyer. Have you read it over? You ready to sign it? And then a lot of people like, dang, you so cool or whatever. And that's how I've gotten cool with people because it's like, no, I'm just doing my job. That's it. I'm not fanning out. And I think a lot of people just fan out. And Diddy knows that a lot of people just mess with him because of his status. I mean, come on. Don't mix business with personal pleasure. Don't always work out like that. So wait, all Scorpios aren't that way. What did I say? How did I offend you, tomorrow's Leader Sports Network? I don't want to offend you. What did I say? Andrew said, and this joker had the audacity to get up on that video and say, I am not a monster. He did say that. That was dumb. He didn't have to say anything. But it's the lack of self control. One thing I can say, well, Russell Simmons has done interviews, but he didn't do no interviews till he was already gone in Indonesia. Okay, that's when you seen Russell Simmons doing any type of interview when he was in Indonesia and they don't got no jurisdiction. Do you really have to ask that question, Libby P? Do you think Diddy made all this up? You think he just automatically thought he could treat people like this? No, I started this live 2.5 hours ago, but I started from yesterday. Scorpio live. I started from yesterday because I didn't come on. That's all. So let's go. So then he came in with his bucket and we locked eyes. So she running in the bush. Puff caught Cass and had her on the ground. Puff started to attack her, but Prince's security quickly intervened. So he about to attack her, but Prince's security was like, nah, we're not having none of that here. Shout out to Prince's security. And later, I went to another hotel. The next day, HR told me Puff was suspending me without pay. Did she say why? That Puff said I was being insubordinate. So then it was a break. So then they asked, how much longer would Mia's testimony? She said the rest of the day. And they said, we'd like to have her off by the end of the week. Agnifilo said, this is a problem. First it was a flight, now this. And then the judge said, I have not cut anything. But I'm going to agree with them because it seems like the government is taking the time that they need to put on their case. And you're doing things in an order that will limit it to be like, I want them done by Friday. You can't, but you're going to take a whole day, right? And perhaps part of tomorrow. But then that means you're going to give the defense, after you got all of this testimony, you're going to give the defense this short amount of time. Same thing with Mr. Nash earlier. Yesterday they booked the flight for him to leave yesterday. Then they had to rebook it for today. It's like, how are you you could do one-way flights and then book the flight like once they're done. You don't have to do both ways. It's almost like they're giving time limits or whatever so you'll feel rushed to do what you gotta do. No, this man's life is on the line and he's paying these people millions of dollars. They better take their time. Take your time and pull out everything that you can. So then the judge said, I let Mr. Donaldson take the time he wanted. Agnifilo said, I'm not blaming the court. It's a pattern I'm seeing. And the judge said, it's common courtesy. Agnifilo said, I don't know how long Mr. Steele's cross will be. They don't need to put these things on the record. So then the judge said, if we can complete this witness this week, Fantastic. That would be so great. It keeps things moving. Just want to put that on your dome. Okay. If you could just finish, I will be greatly appreciative. So then Comey said, many of our witnesses are flying from across the country. We need to know for flights next week, Monday. Mr. Nash's cross was twice as long as the direct. So then the government says. Mr. Steele told us he anticipates his cross being an hour and a half or 2 hours, in no event longer than direct, not to hold him to it. Then the judge says, I want to keep him on schedule. So Mr. Steele said, how late will we be going? The judge said the latest is going to be 4 o'clock. So then they break. Then they're back. We have subpoena from Verizon phone records. Ms. Garagos has agreed that if Your Honor finds them admissible, you can give them to us and we to them. And then Garagos said, that's fine. The judge said, let's get me a back. All that, that's cool. Let's just get the witness on the stand. The judge trying to move this thing right along. All right. Mia, you were speaking about violence between Mr. Combs and Cassie. Have you traveled to Turks and Caicos? She said yes. To Parrot Key twice in 2012. Me, Puff, and Cass. And what happened? Mia said I was sleeping in my bedroom and I was woken. She was woken up. So then Mia said, Cass ran in saying, you gotta help me. He's going to unalive me. And what did you do? We started pushing furniture in front of the door to try to block it. Puff was banging and screaming. I had a porch that went out to the beach. We ran. What do you remember about running? I remember being amazed that even while running fast, we could be attacked by bugs. Did you run another time? I have another visual of where we were hiding, of trying to escape like 2 separate times. We got into paddle boats and we went out on the water. Puff was on the beach screaming at us. It was flat and we went out far. Puff got smaller and smaller on the beach. The sky got dark and he objected and over it. We went back. Did you ever call the police? No. Why not? I believe Puff's authority was above the police. And y'all remember the part of why they wanted a mistrial was because allegedly there were fingerprints that were obtained from Kid Cudi's house. And somehow, poof, they disappeared. And one of the jurors, there are a few of the jurors, apparently that's on there, they said they felt like rich people can make things disappear. Like they have the money to get away with stuff. So that's why they wanted a mistrial, because they're like, we already know the thought process of some of these jurors that have said that. Whether it be them or not, every potential juror could have heard it. And so if that's the mindset, some fingerprints coming up missing, the first thing you think is Puff and paid the LAPD, and they went like that. That would be the thought. So that was why they wanted a mistrial. So now you got her basically saying, I believed he had more authority than the police. And he said this was before social media and the Me Too movement. There were no examples of people standing up. I thought it was under the confidentiality deal with Puff's business. So she thought she couldn't tell that he was threatening her and he was trying to beat you up and do all this stuff because of an NDA. What's this? It's a photo of Cass eating hot dogs at the premiere of her movie, The Perfect Match. She has bruising under her makeup. I took this photo. Any other injuries covered up on red carpet? Yes, at the Cannes Film Festival. They just had that too. What injuries did you see? A busted lip. She was injured. Where were you? In her hotel room with Larry Sims, her hairstylist. Did you learn how she got the injuries? Cass had an audio recording of Puff attacking her. How did Cassie sound on the audio recording? Objection, overruled, panic. I heard the sound of someone getting hit. Did you go to event? The premiere of Brad Pitt's movie, Killing Me Softly. What happened at the premiere? Puff was digging his nails into her arm and talking slow. What? You just digging your nails in someone's arms and talk. That this stuff is so diabolical. Like your level of control and all of that is just a whole nother level. What would Mr. Combs ask you to do? Take care of her. I'll bring her Arnica gel. For what? Bruises. Let's turn to December 22nd, 2011. At Puff's house, the mood was darker than normal. This was more of a like Puff was upset. And what did he tell him? Or maybe what did he tell you? And she says that Cass has been talking to somebody else. Who? Kid Cudi. And how was he? He seemed heartbroken. It was ominous. I'd never witnessed Cass to do something to really cause him to be upset. I felt something bad would happen. Did you then see her in a black car with Capricorn Clark? So I guess she was there when they pulled up. Like Capricorn Clark said, she picked up Cassie from the hotel and they went over to Diddy's house because she was saying Diddy was talking about he was going to unalive everybody. So I guess Cassie came to the rescue and was like, just pick me up and I'll go over there and talk to him. Did you reach out to anyone? Yes, to D Rock. What is this? My emails with D Rock. Only the redacted one into evidence. Still says same objection. So the government said he was security. With that foundation, it's admitted. So the court just admitted that. Read the messages. I wrote to D Rock. I'm worried about P. This feels different. Hit this email when you get it. Love you. Were you romantically involved with D Rock? Definitely not. That's just how we talked. Did not, I said he was able to create some type of alleged family within all of these people where you felt like you may talk to each other about the problems, but you don't go outside of these four walls. And I think he was able to know that he can get you to that point by what you tolerated within that first day or so. He probably had a formula. Who will go with the program? So now you got security, like, you never know when you see each other. We all got to say, I love you at the end of the calls or whatever. That kind of makes you feel like you're connected and you're interwoven in when somebody, because I tell my friends I love them. That makes it seem like it's more family and all of that. So it's very odd that he called it the bad boy family. You had to have a certain something with loyalty in order to be there. And then he basically instilled fear, it sounds like, in a lot of people. This is very interesting. You said mafia. I don't know. So they weren't romantically involved, even though she said she loved him. Then the government said, let's talk about the hotel nights. What was your role? She said, I would sometimes take them there, unpack, set up. I would have to just be like on call essentially and clean up before housekeeping. So she was another one. Whenever they had their hotel nights, it sounded like she set up the rooms, but she left and she wasn't on the clock anymore. What would you bring? His lotions and potions. Now she says lotions and potions. She said Astroglide and candles. Some of them cheap Glade candles without the label on. They had to be white. What else would you bring to the hotel? Anything you forgot at the house? Food, money? How much? A lot, like thousands of dollars. So part of the indictment is they're alleging that when this, because the underlying, regardless of all this stuff that we hear, the underlying claim is the ex trafficking and the prostitution. Okay, so they're trying to make this as what this enterprise consists of. All of this violence and stuff is they're alleging the members in the enterprise how they kept this going because they use violence and whatever else that they use in order to do it. It's very hard. It's easy to get lost because you hear all of this information on what the actual
Hey, Harmony.
job of the government is. Anyway, so they're gonna always get back to these freak offs because that's really what the bottom line is. All this extra stuff is just to show the fear and how everyone did whatever he said because he was crazy as hell. So why wouldn't we think Cassie was just doing whatever she was doing because he was crazy as hell, just like his workers? That's what they're trying to get. But like I said, I'm gonna stand on it. A lot of the stuff he's doing is what DV people do. Okay, when they beating you up. And perhaps because he knew people like his assistants were gonna witness it, he wanted them to be just as loyal and maybe just as scared not to tell about the DV. You know? Because I've seen some DV incidents where people I knew, they ended up doing the same thing to their kids and stuff like that. So everybody is under fear that they're not going to tell about what's really going on at home, in the house, in the family. So how they're going to be able to separate the two is going to be very interesting. So he kept thousands of dollars, and part of, again, the indictment is that some of these assistants and employees, they actually would give the money. So this would show that if she's bringing thousands of dollars to the room, then it can be inferred circumstantially, I guess, that this is the money that the people that were the hired escorts how they were being paid. Do you remember seeing Cassie? She says, at the London Hotel in New York, I brought something to the room. Cass opened the door. She was wearing a bright blue wig. How did she appear? Like she was struggling. I asked, are you good? And she closed the door. How, something about cleaning the room. Something about her. You told us about cleaning the room, maybe? And she says, Puff and the office, it was standard to sweep the room so no housekeeper can sell something to TMZ. How were the rooms? Destroyed. Candle wax everywhere. I've seen broken glass, sometimes blood, oil on walls. And what would Mr. Combs tell you about the blood? That it was period blood. My gosh. Ew. Hi, Melly. Good to see you. Max there was Rico. Yep, slavery tech. That's why I said that in, I think, one of my first videos. I was like, it's very interesting because when you look at stuff, it's like, why did we get whipped on the plantation? It's like black people doing this to other black people is so disgusting to me. Or any person. I'm not even going to say a black person, just any person. That you would do that. Because what did they do? It was okay when the slave masters would
What's up, Harmony?
Yes, or whatever, to get you to do what they want you to do.
What you doing, big dog?
They wanted you to be fearful so you don't walk away. So you don't decide one day, I ain't taking this no more, and you leave. And so when you get an opportunity to help other people, you basically use the same tactics. I think that sucks as a person. Just saying. Miss Gigi said he included them, so he had something on them. If they told, they would also tell their part. This is why he saved the video of the other assistant to use for blackmail if needed. And Max said, I'm sure it wasn't a part of the job description. He said, Wayne said objection. What's a PAB? What did you say? What is that? Where Wellness said, yeah, Cassie definitely is having mental problems from this. This is inhumane. Yeah. Well, her mama knew. Because remember, her mama paid the X tape. She knew about an X tape because allegedly he said he was going to release it. And so she gave it $20K thinking she protecting her daughter. So apparently she knew about at least that they doing some freaky stuff on tape. I don't know if she explained to her mother exactly what was on there, but you said he a punk artist. Why are y'all talking about? Oh, that's what it means. Biatch. Okay, thank you so much, Jessie. I appreciate it. Yeah, that went all the way over my head. All y'all at the same time, like, girl, you don't know what that means? Lisa Love said maybe it's an effect of slavery. We are born with slave mentalities. We are. Did her mama try to jump him or hit him with a car or something? Yep, allegedly. She went in because he took her phone. That's what they say. Let's go on. Okay. What happened in Cassie's car in LA? Cass got a call, then told me he wants to do a hotel night. I don't want to. She got sick. After the hotel night, man down. So after she did so she telling all her friends she don't want to do it. Is what it sounds like. But so they're using that she told them she didn't want to do it to show that Puffy knew she ain't want to do it. And so she was being forced to do things that she didn't want to do, having sex with other men. Hence why they're trying to say that it's a trafficking or prostitution. That's what they're getting at. And what did that mean? They stay in the room sleeping only up to eat. So there was man down. They would just sleep all day after all the sexcapades. Did you do drugs before you worked for Mr. Combs? No. And after, I wonder why they don't ask that question to everybody else. They ain't ask nobody else. So they must ask that question, and then if it ain't the right answer, they like, we ain't even gonna bring it up. And then the defense, they ain't gonna ask the question because they don't know the answer to it. So it's kind of, but with her, they asked, did you do drugs before? She's like, no. What about after? Yes, MDMA. Puff gave it to me. He said that I was now part of the Breakfast Club. What did he mean? Like the Cool Club. He said his MDMA was pure. I felt like I was now a friend hanging out and I could enjoy myself. Did you take ketamine? Yes, at Burning Man. We were partying on a tour bus. We had the blackout shades on. He had the drugs on plates. I tried to say no. What happened? Puff wouldn't let it go. It turned a little more serious that I was going to mess up the whole vibe. I tried to fake take it. He got close to my face and humiliated me. How? So now I look like he making them take drugs. He separated out a dose and made me snort it. I didn't want to fall into the K-hole. I'd seen a person. It looked like an exorcism. Did you want to take the ketamine? I didn't feel I had a choice. Did he take drugs while working? He was always working. Once on the way to Chelsea Handler. How did Mr. Combs treat you? Sometimes like best friends and working partner. Sometimes like a worthless piece of crap. So that's that. That's where we are so far. What do you guys think? Folks on ketamine look like the Walking Dead. Do they? So Jerome Sturt Event said, how do you separate opportunists from manipulator, from abuser, from victim? You don't. They all are human beings, so everybody could be these things. Let me tell you how you separate it. By using the law. So if you get jury instructions to say, this has to go with this, this has to go with this, this has to go with this, and you don't see it, you got to find him not guilty. If you feel like this was really coercion, how he moved, and it wasn't just DV, then you find him guilty. That's how that works in the court of law. I'm speaking personally, I think it would be difficult for a juror to be like, well, she was in a relationship with him and we'll take the mogul out of it. He's acting like an abuser and he fits every single category of an abuser, every line of it. Not one. Do they threaten your family and friends? They do. They threaten your family and friends. And now everybody got close to her. It seems like everyone who has these experiences of being beat were close to her. Now those two assistants that left, they didn't say Diddy tried to hit them, and they were also males too. So it's a difference between males and females, which goes to my theory that he just has a woman hating spirit in him, right? So whatever issues he got, whatever mommy issues or whatever other issues he got, it just seems to be bleeding over in his professional life where there's no respect for women. But aside from that, it just honestly feels like people that are close to him, like, to use a male example with the guy from today, Mr. Nash, you basically were close to her and still talk to her to this day. Like, you picked out her court outfit. This lady just said she's close, she's still close to her. Everybody pretty much was still pretty cool with her. Except for the best friend that said she sued both of them. Capricorn don't seem like she ever liked her. Like, she was cool with her, she was playing nice because I was her boss's girlfriend, but there was some jealousy there. Partly it could have been she liked him, and then she felt like she was getting too much attention for the talent that she lacked, according to Capricorn. So it's very interesting that he does seem to put his hands almost on people that are in close proximity or real cool with her. Weird Wellness said, I feel like men like this want to be a woman. That's what you saying? Definition of coercion. We went through that. Let me see if I can find it on. Let me see if I can find it on. Enterprises to find. Trying to see if they got a definition on something I got pulled up already. And this is kind of what I was saying with, and this is kind of off topic a little bit because I'm still trying to look. I'm trying to look at some of the jury instructions so I could help y'all with it. When I was saying it wasn't, see, he's conspiracy to racketeering where you don't have to prove everything. So I think when it comes to just the RICO, it was going to be a problem. And why I say that is because aside from the enterprise, you also have to prove. The second element is the government must prove that the enterprise was engaged in interstate commerce. So when you talk about engaging in interstate commerce, which would be like what they're saying with the trafficking, then you have to prove the enterprise when it itself directly engaged in the production, distribution, or acquisition of services, money, goods, or other property to interstate commerce. And then alternatively, in enterprise activities affected interstate commerce if its activities in any way interfere with, change, or alter the movement or transportation or flow of good, merchandise, money, or other property between or among two or more states. So I thought they would have a little bit of problem with that. But they got racketeering conspiracy. But let me see if I can find, okay, employed by or associated with. So they'll get definitions for all of this. Conduct or participate directly or indirectly. It should be after this. Through the pattern of racketeering. This is what they're doing right now is they're showing the underlying racketeering with all of this. So I think with her, they're trying to prove forced labor. $50,000, you ain't sleep for 5 days. You felt like this was something you had to do. You got beat into submission. She's saying she was actually assaulted. Like, she got a whole lot of stuff that would be the pattern of racketeering, which is a part of what the RICO elements are. And it's only got to be two. So that's why they like the arson, the forced labor. Uh, let me see. Oh, you hungry, Pook? You should have told me. I'll get you something to eat in a minute. Rocket, let me see, RICO activity, criminal conspiracy. I don't see why they wasn't doing that. Ain't it? No, they ain't even pull what it is. Okay, let me pull it up then. I'm gonna have to find it. Let's see. I think this will do right here. Let's see. Coercion. The term coercion means a threat of serious harm to or physical restraint against any person, any scheme, plan, or pattern intended to cause a person to believe that failure to perform an act will result in serious harm or physical restraint against any person, and the abuse or threatened abuse of law or the legal process. So that's why I said what they would have to do for the coercion, because you need that for fraud, coercion, or force for the trafficking. Like those are individual charges, even though they are predicate acts under the RICO racketeering conspiracy. But what you have, this is why I was saying, is this domestic violence from a relationship, a familiar relationship, or it has to be that they engaged in these X acts by coercion. So that's why I said, that's why they're saying things like having her say, yeah, he beat me in the hallway after the freak off, right? Because then you're trying to get the judge to infer, the jury to infer that she didn't want to do the freak off and he beat her to come back. There was really no evidence of that. It was after the freak off that she had left and she gave her reasonings. She also said that she didn't really want to do it, but she didn't say she told him she didn't want to do it. You also had her giving testimony. I guess there were people that were a part of the freak off, and they said that there was a fight that they heard while they were there. And so, of course, they wanted the inference that perhaps the jury will think, well, if they was fighting and they had just had a freak off, or they was about to have a freak off, and then she went down trying to get it in after the fight, then it's probably because she didn't want to do it. So this is why they're saying that, because she gave testimony as if this was kind of personal, and she wanted to do it at first, but then she really didn't want to do it as often as they did. It became a job to the point where it affected her career. So now you get the defense who was trying to show the jury, listen, she was still in the studio, she put out music, so clearly she wasn't doing no freak offs every day of the week. Like, come on, she was in the studio, and we got Capricorn who clearly hate Diddy's guts to a degree, because she still want to work for him, which is strange. But she said that he spent the most time with you. So it did not affect your career. And you just testified that you actually like doing the freak offs and you always down for a freak off. So is this coercion or is it DV? That is what the big question is on why people are asking, like, it's DV. Why are they talking about that? Because the government is trying to make it into something else. That's all. Timbuktu said, as far as I'm concerned, here you go back yelling at us again, Timbuktu. The employer and employee relationship should take precedent. And yes, it is a broad definition. you, Ryan. I appreciate it. It's a very crazy case. I don't know. I mean, I always say I want to be on the jury, but I don't know if I want to be on this one or not. I don't know if this would be my jury of choice. But let me see if we got some more. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's pull this up. Okay. How would he compliment you? My work, he'd give me life advice. And to tell you you were worthless, long extended rants about how incompetent and stupid I was, threaten my job. Anything physical, throw things at me. Did he talk about jobs for you? Yes. Before Revolt Films, he talked about other companies. I told him I wanted to create and develop TV shows, especially comedy. He said that's what he wanted to do too. Then he'd take away my credits. What did he throw at you? A bowl of spaghetti, turkey meat, a computer, a phone. Let's talk about the spaghetti. What did he tell you to do? To go get people, but I needed to change my tampon. He yelled, "Yo, girl, I said do it now." She said blood was dripping down my leg. I said I have to go change my tampon. What did Mr. Combs do? He threw his bowl of spaghetti at me, then said, "Get the F out of my house." He chased me out. I was barefoot. I hid in a bush, then to a hotel. Oh, tyrant. Ugh. What did HR tell you? That I was going to be suspended without pay. That's what Puff wanted. Where were you when he threw a computer at you? In a trailer. Swiss Beats was there. One thing they doing in this case is calling out all the people who knew that he was like this. Okay? Swiss Beats was there. The Wi-Fi was broken and I went to look into it. I came back and said they were working on it. What did Mr. Combs do? I said I should talk to Bill Gates if I had to. Then he threw his computer at my head. That's what they should have been throwing at him. You see what I'm saying? He know how to pick up objects. He would have got hit with one of them objects. Hard. It just missed me. I ran and hid behind the luggage van. And how did you feel? How do you think she felt? I wondered, what did I do to make him like this to me? Did he hurt you? Turks and Caicos and at the revolt offices. Where were you at Turks? A hammock by my room. Puff dumped a bucket of ice on me, screaming. Then Puff took my phone. I didn't want him to see it. The team, we messaged about his mood. So y'all was talking about Puff. They was on there with a group chat talking about Puff. Like, man, this dude is tripping today. Hey, Mayday, Mayday, he in a bad mood today. I don't know if he was drawing, because apparently they said that he'll stop trying to wean himself off of drugs. So maybe he was withdrawing. I don't know. They like he was up and down with his moods. So I didn't want him to see it, so I jumped on his back. So to save him from looking at her phone, because they was dragging him in the group chat, you jump on his back. And what did he do? He threw me back in the pool. And that revolt, he was using my phone and I didn't want him to see my messages. Maybe I called him an asshole. I tried to get the phone back. He ran into the bathroom and slammed the door on my arm repeatedly. Injuries, bruises. Why y'all not delete these messages and you know that it's basically, if you decide to be around this crazo, like why you not deleting your messages? Did you see him later at the studio? He told me he sent all my compromising photos to him to his phone in case I had stuff on him. Kind of like a bullying joke. How did you take it? I had no photos, so I knew he was lying. are these? My emails with Tony and Shannon. I said, Puff took my iPhone. I don't know when I'll get it back. Tony asked, what happened? I said, definitely an in-person story. Why? I wouldn't put violence in writing. Who was mad? Puff's engineer. At one point, we dated. I have more. The judge must have took a break. So what y'all think? You said Tubi movie for sure.
I think this is craziness. Puff is out of his rabbit ass mind, is what I think.
Yeah.
Cheese Louise, Papa Cheese.
When you go to like the battered woman.
What the hell? What the helly? 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 Puff was out of pocket. Why was he doing all this to these bitches? He must be sick in the head. His screws missing. I'm a rapper. I'm a rapper, not a trapper. That's all off the dome. That's all off the dome. Y'all better get in with me before I get hot. Yeah. Talk to me nicer. Don't talk to me twice. Out of pocket records. Y'all, that's the label. Don't play with it. You small, stupid. Yeah. You feel me? Bop, 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 bop. There's a whole bunch of bopping going on with all these boppers.
So they actually have.
They want the Diddy bop with the diddler. This is going crazy.
There's an elevation of tension and conflict between the parties. In the second stage of battered woman syndrome, there's
You hear me? This is what's going on in the world, y'all. Y'all need to get into it.
Extreme regret and contrition. What is an example of a case? Examples of cases involving battered women include the case of Angelina Napolitano, who was accused of unaliving her husband with an axe while he was asleep.
You feel me? Do you feel me? Do you feel me? What the helly? Alright.
It's literally.
I'll be back. I'm going to get this food, y'all. I'll be right back.
It's literally a defense.
Watch Pammy. Psychological.
Women who are victims of intimate partner violence have been identified by the mental health field for more than 30 years now. It is understood that domestic violence is part of gender violence and that many more women than men are the victims of physical, sexual, and psychological. But men are as well. But there's actually more women on this earth than men, so of course the statistics are going to vary anyway. Even when women strike back or engage in mutual violence, it is usually the woman who is most likely to be hurt both physically and emotionally. Women who strike back in self-defense are often arrested along with the batterer. Yeah, here they arrest both of you. They can't tell who did what. Both of y'all going to jail for the night. Both of y'all cooling your heels in the county. That's how they do it here. It is further understood that gender violence is fostered by the socialization of men to be more powerful than women. In some men, the process creates the need to abuse power and control women. While the term victim is not always considered politically correct, in fact, until battered women take back some control over their lives, they may not truly be considered survivors. Psychological symptoms called battered woman syndrome develop in some women and make it difficult for them to regain control. The mental health professional have been able to assist these battered women with empowerment techniques and with accurate diagnosis and proper treatment as described here. So, battered woman syndrome has been identified as a subcategory of post-traumatic stress disorder. Didn't Cassie say that she suffered from PTSD? Although not all battered women meet all the DSM criteria for PTSD, PTSD a sufficient number do. Thus, the form of trauma treatment is most helpful. Mhm. Yeah. All right. Let me see this. That's our psychological lesson for the day, even though that is not my thing. So you said unless your name is Jonathan Majors. If you haven't been in the type of situation you've been in, how would I know? It's definitely not one situation different from what you may think. Yeah, Star Bell. Most men are not. I know men that was getting like stomped. Like, dang. They not gonna report that. Like, what men you know that's like, oh yeah, I was abused. They not about to. They're not about to admit that. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if they came back. I'll see them coming back here. Melanin and blacks have PTSD seeing all those videos of us being unalive. Tracy said, I found out my ex-husband cheated at 6 a.m. He left for work at 7:30 a.m. And I had all my stuff packed and left by 2. Dang, Tracy. I had no
Brick
job
it. You
and a
don't
child
fake
when I left,
it. And
so
I
it
got
can't
some
be
food
done.
just to take it
Yeah,
down.
but what
Cause
is
I'm
the...
thirsty, I'm round.
Sometimes it's what's
I'm
instilled in you.
still
That's
playing
why I
with
was
the
trying to like
underground.
look
So
back and
stop what
see
you're
like,
doing.
dang,
Cause
when
I'm
did he
about to
actually
ruin.
grow up?
Don't.
Like, what's going
Hey,
on?
ah.
But she was already pretty much
Alright,
on
back.
her
Let's get
own. It
back to
looks
it.
like living in New York at like 9
Oh,
years
oh,
old.
oh.
So, and
I
she
said let's
had her
get
own
back to it,
money
damn
when
it.
she was doing modeling. And she wanted to somehow be in that entertainment. Modeling is a part of the entertainment industry. And she liked being a part of it because they said she was clubbing.
God
She was
darn it.
clubbing. And she got
Don't
this,
play with me. Don't play with me, YouTube.
opportunity to be
I'm about to eat my
artist.
lunch, y'all.
She tried to,
Well, this might be dinner.
She said it's
I don't know.
every day. Ray said he love you, Tracy. I know people looking at Diddy's mama like, what kind of monster she raised? You know, you can't always, sometimes you can raise your kids right. And I heard stories about Miss Combs. So I ain't necessarily saying that that's because I watched the documentaries where they said it was a lot of shucking and jiving going on in them houses when they was little, you know, staying there. But aside from that, though, I wouldn't want to just blame mothers because it's a lot of kids that do the opposite of what you tell them to do. And they're the type of people that life has to teach them. We try to instill in our kids because we want them to not have to go through what we went through. But what you learn is you cannot save your kids from everything and everybody. Why? Because they're gonna do what they want to do, and then you're like, okay, life is gonna have to teach you. I got grown up kids. I already know how it is. Some stuff that they went through, they never had to. Because I'm the one that you could look at me and see what I did. So it's not always the parents. Sometimes you can't do nothing but pray and let life do its thing. And you're like, my God, Father God, in the name of Jesus, what I need from you, Lord, if it's in your will, that when they crash and burn and bust their head, that you will put a pillow right there, so they're not just totally destroyed. Because I know they about to fall and bust their head. Can we get a mattress? Can we get a pillow with feathers? I just want a trampoline so they can bounce back up. But I know that they are about to fall because they ain't listening to nothing. And they going down the wrong road. Thank you, Lord. Amen. And that's all you can do as a parent. Yeah, my grandmother used to say, never say what your child. Listen. I used to go to the school. I was one of them parents like, yep, she did it. Shit. I know she got slick with you because I had a pop her a couple of times.
Listen, y'all, my arms are sore as hell.
Everything that you said she did. I would never want no parents like,
and I'm
not
feeling
my
it
baby.
now.
Now, it was some things that I was like, I know my child ain't no fighter.
Y'all, we watching the Diddy
transcript.
transcript.
That I know.
Straight from the courtroom.
Like some other stuff, I was like, yep, she did it. She did. LBL, I heard, yeah. And modeling is toxic as well. Man, be praying for the mothers of the grown kids. You guys sometimes, like, a lot of us be like, oh, we can't wait till they 18. And honestly, dealing with grown kids is almost harder and more stressful than dealing with the ones that's not. C3, you said, I'm living proof you don't need to put up with things that don't align with you as long as I'm breathing with feet and hands. Ain't no man, woman, or child gonna put hands on me and just let it go. No, sir. You said battered staff. That's what it sounds like. Absolutely. Let me check my email.
Nah, for real.
Thank you, Cynthia, for the cash. I appreciate it, huh? Let me see something. Check my email right quick. All right. I know, right? Can you imagine your mom sitting there listening to all your freakish ways? L. Jackson said, I got 3 grown kids and they are a handful at times. Yeah, they keep your relationship with God fresh. Let's see if I could restart this X. Get us a little fresh thing going on here. I'm so mad. People on her putting memes of SVU on here. Oh my goodness. This a long day at court. So I think they got another hour to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
3 o'clock.
Mommy work at court. Let's see. Yeah. That's how they build them. They build the courts to be big. Let me see. I gotta hurry up. You got something to do? No, they still ain't come back. I still didn't come back. All right, y'all. So I love y'all so very much, but I'm gonna have to end it here because the baby says she's hungry. So I gotta go do what I gotta do. I can't do both right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed the live, and you know we got about an hour left with Miss Nash. We've been on for 3.5 hours. If you have not hit that like button, make sure you do so. But I gotta get off of here. I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you for hanging out with me for 3.5 hours. I appreciate it. But I got to get off of here so my baby can eat. So I'm gonna talk to you later. You said she did say that a while ago, and she ain't said nothing since. I almost forgot. I was like, dang, she did say she hungry again. All right, y'all. I'm gonna talk to you guys later.
Oh, we done?
Wake that ass up. In the morning. The Breakfast Club. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Just Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lola Rose.
Damn. Well, guys, I feel like I should end it here as well. So, I guess we're done for now. Let's get some light up in here, man. I guess we're done for now. We will be back later. You feel me? We're going to come back later. Once I go outside, because I'm about to go outside. I'm about to get dressed. I done ate. And now I'm going to go back outside. So we will continue to stream once I go back out. I need a break. All right? I need to charge my shit up. So I'm going to tap back in a little bit once I get dressed. I'm going to charge my phones. I'm tired of looking at y'all. Y'all don't say nothing when y'all come here. And it's all good. You heard? It's all good. But what I am going to do, I'm going to tap back in with y'all later because whatever.